Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Hollywood After Dark. It is, of course, the 9th of December, 2022. It's Friday night. Do you know where your movie talk is? Well, tonight it may not be entirely all about that here. We're going to be talking about the article about Andy Signore and his secret spanking videos. And one that I actually was interviewed for. And then, of course, The Rock has been disproven as a liar. Folks, it's crazy, it's wild, it's nuts. Also, Patty Jenkins, more drama surrounding that. Hollywood After Dark, folks. Let's fucking go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you guys doing? Welcome to the party. Welcome to the show. Like I said, it is, of course, Friday night. It is 10:07 p.m. Pacific Standard, and it's been just another wild day. I keep hoping that nothing will happen. I keep hoping that it will be a nice, calm day. It'll be a nice, calm day. Nothing will happen. I can watch a movie or two. I can work on some of that. Hey, no. Of course not. Of course not, folks. There's no rest for the wicked. Because I woke up this morning to a DM from Kat Tenbarge, the NBC News reporter covering Andy Signore, letting me know that the article she interviewed me for was up. And of course, a lot of people read it. It's been spread around quite a bit. And it's great because people out there are really mad that she spoke to me about this particular subject matter, even though what I was talked to about in the article, what I was interviewed about, had nothing to do with Andy getting a little bit spanky happy. You know what I mean? Which is why I felt the best way to visually represent the kind of individual that he is would be a nice callback to the late 1980s, where one Paul Rubin, a.k.a. Mr. Pee Wee Herman, got busted at a porn theater playing with Mr. Happy. Now, I'm not saying that Andy Signore is a public masturbator. He clearly has done it in the bathroom. Sadly, we've all seen the proof. But that being said, the article is out there now, and we will be talking about that here because it's definitely crazy. As for me being obsessed with Andy, I'm not, but this is something that I gave an interview for months ago, and I got to talk about it because I might as well just talk about it. So there you go on that one. Let's see. Jay here says, you disappoint me. Make sure it doesn't happen again. We have to suffer through that panel on Max's stream, but Noah Jarbo didn't want to enter that panel and bring the fire. I'll be honest with you, Jay. I have now unsubscribed from Mad Max the Mandalorian, and I will not be resubscribing. I can't do it. I can't. I do not fundamentally at this point understand how anyone can go on Max's panels and expect to have any kind of normal, decent conversation. Because if you disagree with whatever crazy viewpoint Max has, which is usually just to be a contrarian, he just cuts you off. He doesn't let you finish your thought. You have to yell at him. He will interact with the chat while one of his panelists is talking. He always derails his own stuff. And I know the personal reason why. And I've said this, he's an agent of chaos. And again, I know the reason why. It's not that Max is a bad guy. It's just that, like, listening, to the panel is like, it's just, do you guys ever know the old adage of a dog on a nail? Right? It's like a dog is laying on a nail and he's howling and he's crying. Oh, the nail. But he's never getting off the nail. Because it's still easier to just cry about the nail rather than to actually do something. Well, I made the choice tonight, the conscious choice tonight, to just not be on that nail anymore. And he is. Max, I like the guy. It's chaos and it's distracting. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't mesh with where I want to take conversations because it just turns into a fight. And he structures it that way on purpose. And he acts the way that he does on purpose in order to create that. So, there you go. It is, Mladen here says that it is impossible to disagree or have a conversation when you have 9 people on the panel. Well, and that's very true. And how he does that is he has his Mad Max Entertainment DM group, and he just like drops the link in there, and there's, you know, a bunch of people just run on over, rather than like curating that to people who actually have something to say. And then it ends up being a bigger problem. So it's one of those things where I'm like, you know what? I'm just not going to be a part of that at this point in time. I agree with Mladen that Mad Max is using YouTube to vent. Yes, he is. And I do know what he does for a living. And I do know a lot about him on a personal level. And I'm not going to expose any of that information. That's for him. But it's like, I understand why he wants to be an energy, or sorry, to be an agent of chaos. So for me, it's one of those scenarios where I'm just like, fuck it. I'm done. I don't want to deal with this shit. I just, it's frustrating. I'll tell you guys this. This is honest. I'll be honest. I'm in my car tonight. I'm finishing up a delivery. I'm listening to like Devin try to yield Nerdcast to try to make a point. He's making a good, structured, salient argument. And then all of a sudden, Max just starts trying to cut him off. He starts like interacting with the chat. He's just like completely derailing what Devin is trying to say. So then Devin has to keep trying to repeat himself and get to his point and get to his point and get to his point and get to his point. And I'm yelling, I'm screaming at the top of my lungs in my car, like to the point of where I'm almost going to call Max on the phone. He wouldn't answer, but just to scream at him in a voicemail, because it's so disrespectful to your guest. It's so disrespectful to your audience. It's one of those things where it's like, enough is enough. I'm sorry, enough is enough. This is already crazy ass times, what we're dealing with in regards to movie talk, and he just makes it worse. He just makes it absolutely worse. I'm not saying don't watch Max. I'm not saying don't engage with Max. By all means, go there, watch that, have a good time, man. I'm fucking done. You know, there's only so much that I think a rational person can fucking take, because it's not a conversation. Like I was in it with, you know, Max is like, oh, look, Sil was exposed for literally running with fake tips. Well, you know, and he's like, I don't want to say anything bad about the guy, but he is defrauding an audience. We have proof of that now. And yet you're just like, nah, it is what it is, sort of thing. Yeah, Goober here says, I hate it when people talk over each other. I mean, StreamYard, if one person is on like their phone, it does give them like, you know, it does kind of prioritize their audio, to be fair, the way that it's designed. But there's a difference though, when one of your guests is talking and you're trying to like, you know, either you're trying to cut on in, but you want to let him finish. So there is a bit of an ebb and flow on that. But when it's a constant, you know, just a constant yip on the side, it's too much, man. It's too much. No, Enosh and I, like, we're cool, I guess, but like, he won't come on here. I'm not going on there. A lot of the stuff's been done. And to be fair, like, you know, I had people in the Enosh situation, again, I'll be honest, I had people DMing me screenshots of things Enosh was saying in his DM group about me. And that got me mad. And then I kind of like vocalized that a little bit instead of going to him about it directly. But he was saying stuff, and I know he was saying stuff. He knows he was saying stuff. We got into it one night in a private call, and he just kept like basically just denying. And like, I'm like, whatever, man, like whatever, you know, cause that's the thing. So there's that. See, Reed here says, why do people think you're just a grifter? I don't know who says I'm just a grifter. Well, okay. So I can actually touch upon that particularly here for a quick moment. So if you notice down underneath the comment, you know, you see like my Patreon, patreon.com/Matt Jarbo. I do have Cash App, which I don't really publicize. I've got, you know, super chats and channel memberships and things like this. I openly talk about how this job, this channel, the show is like a fair amount of my income. I live off of what I earn from this, you know, from Hollywood After Dark, from the support I get from the audience. You know, and so it's like, the way I view it is I go, okay, great. So this is how I provide the entertainment, I provide the commentary, I put it out there like this, but I make that intention known. All right. I make that intention known where I'm like, look, this is something that I do get, compensation from. I prefer compensation in certain ways over others, but that's really about it. The concept of when we call out someone being a grifter, right? Like, let's say we're talking about the Fandom Menace, and the reason why the Fandom Menace would be a grifter, and we'll talk about the Andy thing too, actually, when that comes up, because I do kind of touch upon that a little bit in there, and I'll just kind of give you guys a bit of a preview. One of the things you have to remember about being a grifter on the internet is that you are basically playing into somebody's emotional situation. You're playing into somebody's emotional belief or emotional state, and you're trying to more or less tell them what they want to hear in order to prompt them to give you money, because people love confirmation bias. People love cognitive dissonance. People love all of those, the Dunning-Kruger effect, all of that shit. You can generally tend to like make work in these scenarios if you know how to touch the right emotional buttons with the audience. Like, you know, that's really what it boils down to. And if you really look at like how the Phantom Menace operates, right? These are guys who are, a lot of them are young white men who are afraid of being replaced. That's a lot of what the anti-SJW movement is. Younger white men and some women that are afraid of being replaced in a society that is no longer suited for them. That is really what they are all about. Right. And so like these people are fearful of that. So what happens is you have these other guys come in and they go like, it's everyone else's fault. You being, you know, the young white man who doesn't get an education, who sits at home on his ass all day and plays video games in his mother's basement. You're not the problem. It's not your fault you can't get a job. It's not your fault you can't get an education. It's not your fault you can't get a girlfriend and get laid. It's not your fault. It's everyone else's fault. And it all goes back to the gays, or it all goes back to the trans people, or now in some cases, well, again, it's always kind of been there, but now in the case of Kanye and Nicholas Fuentes and all that shit, right? The hardcore right, it's all, blame it on the Jews sort of thing. This is what people do. This is the kind of emotional mindset that they do. And they tap into that. And because they tap into that, they're able to then swindle their audience out of not only attention, but money and everything like that, because they are acting as heirs of authority in these particular situations. If you have a distaste for, let's say, like, okay, I'll give you guys an example. The Last Jedi. Since we're talking movies, this is a movie thing. I'll use this as an example. The Last Jedi. I fucking do not like that movie. And if it comes up in conversation, it's kind of a trigger for me, because I get so frustrated talking about it, because and so I'll bring it up and other people will be like, yeah, fuck The Last Jedi. Now you could, if I were to, let's say, run that into the ground, even now, 5 years later, you know, I might do it next week just for shits and grins to talk about The Last Jedi 5 years later, but I would give it another watch and then give it another run through, right? To say if my opinion still stands or whatever. But if I were to sit there and still make Last Jedi content every single time Star Wars news came out, or compare every single thing to The Last Jedi, you know, like The Mandalorian is great, way better than The Last Jedi. The two are apples and fucking oranges. They're not even fucking comparable, but there we go, right? It's just, it doesn't matter. If you consistently and continuously push that narrative, push that idea, push that bullshit on your audience that is already emotionally invested into an idea, all it does is permeate that kind of toxicity. That is why those people are grifters. Now, if I bring up The Last Jedi, which I do few and far between, I do try to bring it up at a time when there's a solid reason to do so, not just out of the blue. Like, hey guys, how was your Tuesday? Did you know The Last Jedi sucks? Right. But look at the Snyder conversation, right? How everyone keeps bringing up Zack Snyder into literally everything. James Gunn posts an image of Kingdom Come Superman. Is it Henry Cavill? Is Zack Snyder coming back? Like that kind of grift. And then if he responds to it, then all the grifters jump on it and they make it a bigger deal than it is. And they try to disseminate it. I mean, we all talk about it, but you can always tell the motivations. You can always tell the motivations because usually there's a fair amount of gaslighting. And there's a fair amount of obfuscation. And there's very much a shady element to the approach to the conversation. That's a lot of what happens here. It's a lot of what happens with these guys. It really is. It really is true. You know, so it's just that particular situation in a nutshell. That's a lot of what's going on here. Yeah, Tim Pool in a nutshell, 100%. Right? Let's see. Tim, I love this. I love whoever the fuck this guy is, man. Your comments are gold because, you know, you're dumb. Saying here, Nerdrotic is not afraid of being replaced. He gets 12,000 views. Nerdrotic is not afraid of being replaced because Nerdrotic, if you think about it, has already been replaced. What is his disdain with the industry as a whole, especially comic books. He owned a comic book shop. That comic book shop had to shut down because of the shifting tides of the industry. That comic book shop went away. His blood, sweat, and tears, what he built, probably high on meth, I don't know, all right, went away. It's gone. And he has this anger and this rage inside him because guess what? Oh, he was replaced. So now everything is going to replace everybody. Everything is going to replace all of these people all the time. It's what happens. So he's got to sit there and he's got to say everything is woke and everything is political and everything is SJW. And it's his job to point it all out. That is what Gary from Nerdrotic does. And he does it because in his mind, he's already been replaced in an industry he can never truly go back to. So he hates it. And that hate and that anger and that toxicity, it permeates and it comes out in ways that are just disgusting, that are bigoted, misogynistic, that are just terrible across the board. But his audience has been groomed, yes, groomed, to sit there and go, yeah, people like him are right. He knows what's happening. He knows exactly what's going on. He's got his finger on the prostate of the pulse of the situation. He's got it all figured out. He doesn't know shit. He doesn't know shit. All he can do is attack. He attacked The Boys season 2 because they were making fun of people like him. But then he all of a sudden became friends with somebody on The Boys. This is what I hear. And then season 3, which went even further in their commentary against the right wing, even went further in their commentary, making fun of people like Gary and Jeremy and all the others. They were really fucking silent about that. Because it's all a game. In many instances, it's all a game, but you, the audience, you're the product. This is what you don't get. You're the product. You're the sheep. You're the rube. You are the mark. And they're the snake oil salesman. They're the guy that comes into town and they're, gather around. Do you have arthritis? Are you unable to get an erection? Do you got the prostate the size of an apple? Drink this Mr. Tonic. It will cure all that ails you. They sell you on something you wish to be real. They sell you on this idea, this weird idea that life will go back to normal if they have their way. What does that even mean? What does it even mean now if they say everything is woke and everything is political and everything is SJW? Bitch, have you not paid attention to Hollywood fucking ever? Last year, I put out a little short calling out all of these guys for being pro-McCarthy, the new McCarthy era. And I was right. I'm 100% right. And they got real fucking mad at me for saying that. All right. They got real mad at me for saying that, but it's exactly what they are. Because here's the thing, McCarthy went after Hollywood because it was a clear and easy target for him. And he created the fear and the panic about bullshit, things he never actually was right on, ever. Go look it up. McCarthy was not right. And he ended up being fucking removed from Senate in disgrace. This is the scenario that these guys are doing. They're doing literal fucking witch hunts. If somebody associated with the production who happens to have multicolored hair and maybe pronouns in their bio says something that is political in nature and they don't like it, they take offense, it ruffles their feathers, it triggers their jimmies, and all of a sudden they come out and they all come out in unison and attack this person claiming that the show that they work for is woke, it's political, it's SJW, it's garbage, and it's trying to destroy your childhood, and it's trying to put trans rights in schools, and it's trying to have little kids getting assaulted in bathroom because, again, it all boils down to like trans people because they're fucking deathly afraid of them. But that's what it is. That is the idea that they cultivate. That is the mindset that they craft, and that is the lie. Oh, yes, it's a lie. The manufactured narrative, the fiction that they're claiming to protect, they completely put out there in a multitude of ways. But they make you believe it because they repeat it so many times. And since not one of them in their little fucking narrative, their little coven of hens, not one of them will ever question the other one. It never, ever, ever breaks the cycle of the echo chamber. But as soon as one person does, as in the case of, let's say, Mecca Random or Jesse Milestone or others, as soon as one other person comes out and goes, wait a minute, I'm in Newton, bitte, I disagree with this particular shit, they get excommunicated because they go against the grain because they are not agreeing with those SJWs, because that's exactly what those anti-fans are. Look up the horseshoe theory. It's exactly that. It's exactly that. They are the exact same as the people who they ideologically and diametrically oppose. They'll use the same tactics. They'll be this. They're exactly the fucking same. And that, my friends, is why this whole situation is absolutely fucking hysterical to me. Because it doesn't matter if Gary gets 12,000 people watching him live with Sargon of Akkad. I know Carl personally. I've known him since 2014. We've hung out on multiple occasions. I don't hate the guy, but he's fucking poisoned his own goddamn mind. And that happened back in 2018 when he was approached by Steve Bannon, who then talked him into running for office in UKIP, and he ended up single-handedly taking out UKIP because he fucking tried to play Trump's game in the UK where that shit don't fucking fly. This is the thing with people like you. MCU Phase Bore, you are an NPC. You are a literal NPC. You have no thoughts, no opinions, no ideas, no narratives, no mindsets, no nothing that wasn't already pre-programmed in your mind. And you're sitting there, I'm looking at your comments, and it's great because you're just checking boxes. You're just going down the list. You're running through the programming that somebody already implanted in your brain because you simply cannot think of another thing to do. You have no other comeback. You have no other alternative. You literally are the manifestations of somebody who is more smarter than you, who has found a way to make you their useful idiot. That, my friends, is the truth. That, my friends, is the reality. And that, my friends, is exactly why somebody like MCU Phase Bore is the greatest example of NPCism on YouTube. Because this is the person that you know lives in the comment section and just waits for something to reply with, just so they can go, it's woke, just so they can mimic and parrot the machinations of those with grander intelligence. Anyway. How is Steve Bannon not in jail? Trump pardoned his ass, man. He actually is. He's going to jail for 4 months over that whole fucking subpoena shit. Anyway, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. There's like 97. That was a long rant. I'm sorry, guys. That was a long rant. But that's how it goes. That's how it goes, guys. I don't care if I have 1,000 subs, 100 subs, 1,000,000 subs. I'm never going to change who I am or lie to you guys about my opinion simply because it works in the benefit of me. I've been down that path before. I've altered the way I view things, or I've argued things. I've downplayed things because I didn't want to anger the audience. I didn't want to piss off the people that paid my bills. And you know what? That's not who I am. And at this point now, I am way more aggressive. I am way more bullheaded, and I have a much louder and much larger voice. And I have no problem wielding that in ways that will be very vocal, which is one of the reasons why people like MCU Phase Bore has to be here and will most likely end up reporting back to, his master in order to repeat what I've said, because those guys are simply too afraid to actually engage with me one-on-one because they know that I'm not an idiot. I'm not a slouch. I come prepared. I know my shit. And I can fucking vocalize it. And they don't want to deal with that. Literally. All right. This is here for 5. Thanks, buddy. He says, I've already seen one show that tried to make fun of fans and fail. And that was the reboot of Guardian Code. It was canceled after 2 seasons. I don't know necessarily. I've never heard of Guardian Code, so I can't touch upon that one necessarily. So there's that. And hold on. Am I getting called out by a dipshit here? I gotta see here. I might be. Maybe not. Maybe not. All right. Cool. I thought I was getting something. If I thought the quartering was coming at me because he came at me. He came at me a little bit ago. Anyway, Anthony here for $2. Thank you, buddy. He says, what do you think about Rush Hour 4? We talked about Rush Hour 4 a little bit last night. I'm okay with it. I'd prefer Shanghai Dawn, to be honest with you. I don't know if Brett Ratner is going to come back to direct it. Probably not. Although he would be involved because it would go through Rat Pack Entertainment. We've gotten 3 solid Rush Hour movies. I don't think we need to get any more, to be honest with you. I think we're okay with that. But I would really love to see Owen Wilson and Jackie Chan do one more ride, 100%. Garrick here for 5. Thank you, buddy. Says, Yellow Flash says the people giving positive Avatar 2 reactions are lying. Yellow Flash says a lot of things, and you can easily disregard all of that shit because he's also a fucking moron. A lot of those guys are just, look, when someone is simply a reactionary, which is what all of these guys are, it shows you their lack of intelligence. And that's just what it is. Yellow Flash is just, again, like Rags, like Mahler, the fact that Mahler in his 5-hour review of Doctor Strange 2 was all like confused about why in 838 the red was green and green was red in regards to Stop and Go. Like, it confused him. And I'm like, you do realize that was done as a way to simply showcase the differences of that world in a way that general audiences would understand. It's not a complex idea. It's actually simplified for the process of simply moving the story along. But this was lost on someone like him because he's a fucking moron. Anyway, speaking of a person who's not a moron, Chris, what's up, dude? How you doing, man?
What's up, Maddie? You doing all right?
I'm always okay. I like to fight.
I love it
though.
when you're like this. I do.
I like to fight. It drains me. It fucking fundamentally drains me. But in those moments, I'm like Logan at the end of the movie when he's high on that other shit.
Yeah, you get it out of your system, then you just
I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? It's like it's just like, it's like verbal masturbation. You know what I'm saying? It's like I can just do it, get it out of the way. All right, I'm going back to bed.
Speaking of, that like I got a tiny little, promo that guys like Yellow Flash and Critical Drinker and Heels versus Babyface, they're like a dry hand job. It's entertaining for a minute, but by the time it's over, it really hurts. And you'd rather just wrap up in a wet blanket. You know what I mean? Like when you called that dude an NPC, I literally was sitting in my chair just now. I started laughing so fucking hard because that was
one of my better rants. I'll fully admit.
I was getting ready to type NPC, and then when you said it, I was like, NPC confirmed. I don't get it, and I do have a question I do have a question for my boy Donovan, because I love Donovan. He's from my area. He's a great guy, but I am not understanding all this Patty Jenkins hate. Like, where are all these rumors coming from that she's...
Well, we'll talk about Patty Jenkins. I didn't put her in the thumbnail, but I have a couple Patty Jenkins.
The thumbnail's great, by the way. I love that Cherry's in there.
It's I needed, dude. It's not my best thumbnail, but I was in a hurry to make it before I went out driving tonight. So there's always that there. But all right, we also got this is thank you for 5. Says the show is called Reboot the Guardian Code. Reboot is part of the title. Oh, I didn't know that. I've never heard of it. So, but how do they go after the fans? Like, because I know some shows will be critical of an audience, not necessarily the audience, but just an audience. And everyone just goes, oh, they're going at the fan base. But like, I mean, I think a lot of people can read between the lines on that. Like they can, I think when it comes, like, you can generally see like who they're attacking, like with The Boys and season 2, when they had that whole opening scene of the guy getting radicalized and then killing the store clerk, fucking Gary and Jeremy, all those guys were fucking furious about it because they're like, oh, they're attacking the fans sort of thing. Right. And it's all like,
and then season 3 comes around, Matt, and you had that ending where it's like pure Trumpism. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And now they love it again. And people think that like, oh, Chris must be like, no, just because I lean right doesn't mean I like Trump. I can't fucking stand Trump. And the more I dig into this January 6th shit, the more I don't like him, the more I start to see things that I didn't see before, like.
Well, talk to me more often and you'll like, I will go off on the J6 stuff, but yeah.
What almost happened, man.
Yeah.
And now all the shit he's in trouble for and all this shit going on.
It's great.
Man. These dudes, they embrace that. They like embrace it. I don't understand.
It's chaos. It's chaos. They like chaos. Yeah. So the way I view it is this: a lot of the younger guys, and then we'll get back into okay. So let me know why Reboot got Reboot of the Guardian Code got deleted.
What is the Guardian Code?
I don't know. Well, no, that's the Reboot of the Guardian Code is Reboot the Guardian Code is the name of the show.
Oh,
So when the show is called Reboot, I think it's like it's maybe it's Canadian. Reboot.
do you see how
Reboot the
different?
Guardian Code.
Do you see how different I am, though, Matt? Like, if I don't know something, because I really do believe, I'm not going to say there's no such thing as a dumb question, because there are, but I'll still ask them. If I don't know about something, I don't pretend like I do. Okay. There are some real pompous, smug, annoying people out there, man. I'm not going to drop no names, but
Well, I'm right here.
this guy, you got in that guy's head, man. After you left, he kept saying, well, I don't want to mess up the facts, Matt Jarbo, and maybe I should show you my IMDb, Matt Jarbo. And I'm just like, dude, what?
I wasn't questioning his
I've
resume.
never questioned that. I'm sure he had a great, a great career at craft services or whatever the fuck he did. You know what I mean?
I think he works on like he does crew stuff. I don't know. He could be grip. He could be a gaffer. He could be. I haven't asked him, to be honest with you.
But earlier I heard you say the Kruger effect, and I had to ask in the chat, what is the Kruger? What? I've never heard that before.
The Dunning-Kruger effect.
Yeah, I've never heard of it. And then Tony told me what it was, and I was like, oh, okay, thanks. All I'm saying is I understand why you're walking away. You know I get it.
I have my sanity and shit, and it's just like we'll talk about the Andy thing here in a second, and that's part of it too. Is like this, like it's just insane. You know,
I've never thought you're obsessed with Andy. A lot of people think that, but I don't. I just don't think that motherfuckers know how close you and him used to be.
Well, we were. I mean, I don't want to say like we were like super BFF. We weren't, but it's like we talked and he texted every once in a while, talked on the phone every once in a while.
I was friends with him one time,
and I thought about texting him today just to kind of laugh at him.
Right.
But the last time I texted him, he's like, "If you do it again, I'm calling the cops." And I, whatever and shit. But the thing is like there's a super chat to get to, and then we can get into the Andy stuff. Here we go. Garrick for 5. Thanks, buddy. It says, Angry Joe is saying Shazam 2 is pointless and nobody cares about it because the DCEU is being scrapped. He thinks the movie won't do well. Angry Joe has become so fucking dumb.
He used to be one of my favorite people on YouTube, and now I can't stand him. I unsubbed from him.
You know what it is? I've come to this realization, man. This is the problem. When you do daily content, it honest to God, in many instances, it dulls the blade. Because you aren't critically processing what you're seeing. In many ways, you're just reacting to what is there, and you treat it as surface level, right? Like when the thing is like, when I'm listening to Angry Joe critique Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, I'm like, you're a fucking moron. Like you're just not watching the show. Like you can tell a person watching the show like that being on their phone while they're doing it. Because they're missing key elements, right? I wasn't on my phone watching Rings of Power. I was dialed in. Andor, I was dialed in. There's some shows that I'll watch and I'll end up kind of going over to my phone a little bit, and then I'm like, ooh, no, I shouldn't do that, right? Because I might miss something and I want to see it. Because we are drawn to our phones. It is a compulsion. But really what I mean is like the more you do this kind of stuff, like the more you have to put on a persona, it does dull the blade.
Yeah.
So it makes it easier to just kind of come out and go, this bad, rather than like, here's the reason why I dislike this.
Exactly. That's what he used to do. And he used to be very detailed and very concise. And it would really pull you into his stream or his videos. And now it's just like, he's become, his content is fucking lazy, man.
It is. Yeah, it is lazy. And like, if you've noticed, and I don't mean this as like a body shaming thing, but you can kind of tell because of how pudgy he's gotten too. Right? Like you can physically see him gain weight if you watch his content over the course of the past 2 years.
I've watched him for years, man.
And you can see him just
Angry Joe in 2013.
Yeah. I'm in a couple of his videos, actually. I'm in 2 of his, I think 2014 and 2015. Or is it 2013 and 2014? I'm at his like top 10 video game controversies of the year. It might be 2014, 2015.
Yeah, I think
I was in 2 of them. And one of them, believe it or not, was actually because I had called the flag Anita Sarkeesian, which I never flagged her, but I was all like, I said it stupidly. All right. And I was like, I shouldn't have said that. Like I was just trying to be like, how it is. You just spout off on Twitter. And
yeah.
shit.
And then you're like, oh, that was dumb.
I shouldn't have done that. Right. Yeah. But like, it doesn't, and then cause I think she had like used it as like ammo down the road or whatever. I'm like, all right, whatever.
The ABC interview. I feel I get life threatened all the time.
Well, I've never been close to that one.
Like, although what is wrong with you?
I would say at this point, 5 years on, VidCon 2017, she probably felt that way. Actually, if
No,
I
she
think about
probably
it.
was getting death threats, but it's like it was mostly by
Well,
squeakers, man. You
yeah,
know
but
what I mean?
what I mean by that is like when she is at a panel and like 30 of her critics show up and they're all congealed together, and she didn't know that was going to happen. Like you can see how that would like throw
Yeah,
somebody off,
yeah.
right? And that was because I organized like the early stages of that event. Like I got Sargon of Akkad to come out to
No, yeah, I
UK,
remember. I
right? I've talked
remember.
about that, and I believe me when I say I thought it was going to be like 5 of us, right? And we were just going to go laugh, like that was it. And then like all of a sudden, all these other people came, and we're like, fuck, because at that point it's just holy shit. What do you do? And Joey Salads was with us too at the time.
Yeah, Joey
Right?
Joey got like something happened to him not too long ago. Like he got into some shit. He lost his whole channel.
Yeah, he did. Well, he started pushing conspiracy theories, I think, and he was all pro Trump and crap. But basically, what I mean by the thing by Angry Joe is like to go back to that is like Joe has he's in this world now, and he's chasing hate clicks as per usual, And what it was also was like the Last Jedi kind of broke him, to be fair, because when the Last Jedi came out, he didn't like it. And then like he might have like softened on it a little bit, or there was like whatever, or maybe it was Rise of Skywalker.
BVS didn't help him either.
Oh, did he like it?
He kept trying to push how good it was, and he got and he did a really great video. I won't lie, he did a really great video with the guy from Chicago. Oh my God, it's called Channel Awesome now, but it used to be something else.
Oh, the guy with the glasses,
Nostalgia Critic.
Oh, okay.
They did a video together where they were trying to debate each other on why it was bad and why it was good, and he made good points, but people started coming at him really hard about it just because he liked BVS, and he kind of liked. But what I mean by him getting lazy content is he still does the dress up stuff and the skits and stuff, but when he talks about the game, it just goes back to a previous stream that he did. He never really breaks it down. And the first one, he still breaks it down, but it just seems lazier now, It just does.
Yeah, I'll tell you this though, live streaming every day, man, that's just difficult. Like,
yeah, gaming too, man.
Gaming too, man. It's like, there's a guy that I watch, Brian Menard. He's he's like a new up and comer streamer, and I just like his energy. He's just chill. He plays State of Decay 2 for the most part, and like other open world, like he's like into Ubisoft games and stuff. But
you know who I watch when I want to chill, like gaming. Besides some of the, and I'm not simping. I just got some female friends out there that game. You know what I mean? They're just really good. But I watch Devin. I like.
Oh yeah, he plays a lot of stuff. Yeah. He was playing Midnight Suns the other day. Yeah.
Relaxing, chill dude, man. And when you said he was trying to make a point and then he got shouted down, they do that to Devin all the time.
I know.
And Devin's like one of the smartest motherfuckers I know. He worked for was it Square Enix or Ubisoft? He worked for one
of those companies. Yeah,
man. Like,
so he's got insight into the industry, which is good. And then Sean works in the industry and he's got some insight as well. I give him a little bit of shit because he plays loose with the facts sometimes. When he's all like Joker had a $40 million budget, it was really like 60 to 75 million.
And Warner Brothers ain't hurting. They're $53 billion in debt.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, and then he goes like, oh, but like Cavill had assurances when he came on back in like September, and it's like that would have changed with James Gunn and Safran because they're now responding to Zaslav. They're not going through, there's like all of these little things. It's just little things where it doesn't ultimately matter, but it's like, for me, they just compound and compound and compound as a viewer. And I'm just like, I think he's a nice guy. He's got some good takes, but no, man, just like stop. Like
that might be what it was, Mladen. It might have been everybody didn't like Man of Steel, and he didn't like BVS. Maybe that's what it was. But I remember I
went into Man of Steel thinking this is gonna fucking blow dicks, and I ended up loving it. And then I was all excited for BVS, and I fucking hated the theatrical. Like my girlfriend took me for my birthday back in 2016. So I was 34. She took me because it came out the day before my birthday. And so we went to go see it, and I was all excited and everything. I'm like, yeah, dude, fucking Cavill, Superman, Affleck, Batman, fuck yeah.
I was so lost.
And then it's just, I'm watching this movie, and it ends, and she's like, what'd you think? And I'm all, what the fuck was that? Like, and then like, I even told people, I did a video on the Monday Matt channel where I said at the time, I said, you need to spoil this movie for yourself before going in. That is how bad the theatrical was, because you need to spoil it for yourself to understand what the fuck is going on in this movie because the
It
editing was so bad.
it was so jumbled, and I remember seeing
Yeah.
the trailers and getting so excited when I saw the mech Batman suit because I was like, "Oh my god, they're gonna do Dark Knight Returns," or I always say Dark Knight Returns. What is the two-part animation and comic book? You know, like
Yeah.
it is. Is it
That is the Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and Part 2.
okay? Yeah. And I was so excited, and they actually had the scene where he's jumping and the lightning's behind him, and I'm like, "Wow, this is gonna be amazing!" And I got in there, and I was like, "What is going on? And why is there a Lord of the Rings cave troll in this movie? Like
Yeah.
that doesn't look nothing like, you know what I mean? But it doesn't look anything like Doomsday. But I don't know. And I really didn't like Jesse Eisenberg as Lex. That was the big, you know, like. But when you watch the ultimate cut, it's a lot better. And it's more fun.
Yeah, it is.
And
It is. I liked it a lot more. Like I was all down for that and everything else. And I'm like, I'll never watch the theatrical ever again.
no,
And I haven't. It's all good. But to go back to the to the question about Shazam, you know, if they're rebooting, is Shazam important? Yeah, I think it is. I think it is. I think if you enjoyed Shazam, I think you'll enjoy Shazam 2. I think that you know, I mean, look, but it may not, it may be important to you. It may be an end. It may be a beginning. We don't know yet. If okay, I'll put it like this. If the Flash became, if it became unpicture locked, right? If it ended up like, if they ended up kind of reopening it back up, what they're doing, and James Gunn had like mentioned this the other day, is him and Peter are now giving notes on these movies that are coming on the edit. I don't know if they're going to do any shooting, but they might like be able to go on in and edit the movies a different way. Maybe not so much Shazam 2, because that's like pretty much done. But like Flash and Aquaman, they might be able to go on in and like retool these movies a little bit
God,
to make
who
them.
knows how much
make
they've
them-
done with Flash, bro.
I don't even know. I don't even know. And the thing is, like, I don't even really care. I just want to see the fucking movie.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
like
it.
I know there was a report yesterday that like Christina Hodson had been working on the Batman, like Michael Keaton Batman Beyond script for like 2 weeks before. Oh no, that's actually going to be what we're talking about. I think in one thing today we're gonna be talking about that. But any there. Tom is asking, is there the last content I like from Angry Joe? I mean, his game reviews are pretty decent.
Yeah, his game reviews
I can't
are still
like,
good.
but I don't play enough modern video games to like give a shit anymore.
The one he just did for Modern Warfare 2, because he usually shits on all the Call of Duties. He does. He shits on them. But I was shocked because he really enjoyed this one, because this one just happens to be good. They put a lot of stuff into it, a lot of different things. They paid attention to detail. And everything he said I was agreeing with, but that's the last thing. I still like his game reviews, but when he does movie reviews and all this other stuff, and some of the dumb shit he says on Twitter, I'm just like, all right, I'm done with you, man. I unfollowed him, unsubscribed from him. I just don't watch him anymore, you know?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of you know, there's a lot of shit with that. But you know, he's got what, like 4 million fucking people who follow him.
Yeah, he's
shit.
one
like,
of the guys, you know.
He's fine. He can yell at the camera and like throw $7, you know, and like what I mean, like, you know, but like he understands. I think he understands that he's been memed on a lot, and he's got to like, he kind of plays into it a little bit. But at this point, it's like DSP and Angry Joe are kind of the same guy for me.
Oh my God, Darkside Phil is atrocious to me.
Well, and the reason why I say it like that is, and it's kind of like it gets into James or John Campea is kind of the same way. What I mean is, like, you've got dudes who've been doing this shit for so fucking long that it's like whatever shtick they had to begin with that people resonated with, they haven't really grown up from that. Campea has gotten lucky that he has had more of the corporate backing, which allowed him to dive into doing his own thing and to bring that audience with him. And he's consistent, which is his finest quality, I'll say. DSP is also consistent, right? But he knows that he ends up having more troll viewers than not, and there are people who pity him who pay him. And but that's the life he leads. But he makes just enough to get by, right? And he knows that if there's ever any kind of like scandal that happens with him or something, he can use it to kind of like get more views, because he's kind of living in that weird space where it's like the negative attention is what will gain him the most positive life. It's weird.
Oh, the camera's on? Oh, the camera's on the whole time.
Shit. Yeah. Right. Man, I know. It's like, for one, where'd the cum go? Just
Dude,
Jesus Christ.
Exactly. Get up and at least go wash off.
Go wash your hands, dog. Go
Every
wash your
dude's
hands.
gonna understand you wanted to rub one out, get a little loose before the stream. We all jerk off. It's life. But but to like not wash up afterwards, you filthy motherfucker.
Yeah. God, how bad is that control? I'm so anal about my controllers. You know, like one of my friends was at my house once and I was playing video games and he was going to play and he went over and he comes back in from the bathroom. I'm like, did you go number one or go number two? He's like, took a shit. I'm like, I didn't hear the sink.
Yeah, I didn't hear the sink, dude.
Right. He's like, I didn't touch my ass. I'm all, did you wipe? Yeah. You touched your ass. Go wash your fucking hands. And he's like, it's fine. Like, no, you're not going to touch. No, go wash your. I made him go and wash his hands. We were like in our mid-20s. I'm like, no. Because I have like, I work with food and stuff. I'm like, no. I'm fucking anal about that shit. When I had kids, man.
Rational.
Look,
Here's a true story, Rational. Wings of Redemption, a long time ago before Wings really blew up. That's how long it's been on YouTube, all right? And Only Use Me Blades and Keemstar, they were still doing the Bad Kid cast. This was right after Keem's other shit he did on streaming where he dropped the M-bomb a bunch of times. Well, they were still new to this, and I had got into it with Wings and Woody's gamer tag, and this is before they blew up, man. And I went on one of the first episodes of the Bad Kid cast and like tore in to White Boy 7th Street and Wings of Redemption. And I was making such good points that they kicked me off the show. And I told everybody, Wings is going to go down. You guys watch. He's going to fucking burn in flames. He's a motherfucking narcissistic piece of shit rage monster with some sort of mental issues. And he will become the laughing stock of this community. He didn't only become the laughing stock of the community. He's the entire laughing stock of every kind of like YouTube gaming there is. You know who Wings is, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm aware of him. I've actually never watched his content outside of some of those.
Of the worst. You're right, RJ. All right, I'm gonna not sidetrack too much. I'm gonna let you get into your spiel. I'm gonna go grab a bottle of water, and I'll be right back.
Okay, cool. Thank you for that, though. All right, and then this is going back to reboot the Guardian Code. Oh, reboot colon the Guardian. Oh, okay. You didn't put the colon in there. I thought the show was just called Reboot the Guardian Code, not Reboot, which was on fucking Toonami, right? That was on like, for me, I believe it was a CW channel back in the day. Okay. He says here, too much information to talk about the original 1994 reboot animated show and the Trainwreck 2018 Reboot the Guardian Code animated live action show. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. I got that one now. That makes sense. Oh God. RJ here says, like the way Wings treats his new wife, the way he treats himself and his viewers, it's way worse than DSP. I don't know any of that shit. And then I did hear about a little bit about the DSP drama about Scorn. I mean, look, there are nights doing this where I'll get like $10 in chat, super chats. You know what I mean? And it's like, and there's nights where you pull in a bunch more. You have to ebb and flow with it. It'd be great if it was consistent, but it's like, not everything is like that. So you have to fucking roll with it. And so, yeah, like if you're going to play a game like Scorn and you're not getting any super chats, then don't play Scorn again. Go back to the game that people are going to want. That's what you do. That's how you do it. But I don't know. I
don't even know how the guy got famous, man. He was like 12th in the world, ranked at a Mortal Kombat that
he claims to be like a fucking like a winner on that front. I think I first came across him when he would do the gaming videos, but then he did like standalone rants, and like that's how I saw him, was like standalone rants and shit.
It just reminds me of that, that dude that swears up and down he beat every record on Donkey Kong, and now he's suing anyone who says anything bad about him that he might have cheated, even though they proved that he cheated to get all those Donkey Kong records. But yeah, that's who DSP reminds me of. He reminds me of that guy. Like, you're holding on to the past so tight, bro. You're not Al Bundy. I once scored 4 touchdowns in a single football game. Nobody gives a shit, bro. Like, you don't see 50-year-old men running around their Letterman jackets. I still got my Letterman jacket. You don't see me running around wearing it, even though I am kind of contradicting myself, because here I'm a 48-year-old man and I'm on YouTube talking about nerd shit. But that's not the same thing.
Yeah. It's not, I understand that. I totally get that. It's okay though. I think it's like, it's just, we live in the thing is like a lot of people, if you really look at the typecasting that comes across when you're a YouTuber, people expect that from you. Right. So if people respond to you niching down and that becomes your persona, that becomes who you're known for, breaking out of that is hard to do. Right. It's almost like child stars, where it's like people only like them when they're a child because it's a very specific thing.
Exactly. I have
But
a
then
friend who's actually lived that. I
yeah,
told you about
yeah,
him.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then breaking away from all that shit is difficult to do because the audience can only see one fucking thing. So, but then what you got to do, to be honest, is you got to go away for a while, right? Like you got to go away for a while and then come back with a whole new shtick.
Yeah, reinvent
And
yourself. It's not
kind of,
hard.
kind of reinvent yourself a little bit. Like that's the big factor there. So like, but DSP, but I'll tell you, DSP, and we're gonna get to the Andy thing here in a second because there's a segue. People like DSP and Andy, and I'll be fair, like quartering, neurotic, all those guys, and even myself. We're all kind of stuck with one of the biggest problems, and that is that change is fucking scary. So digging in deeper to what works, even though it might be detrimental to the long game.
In some cases,
But
I don't think it's detrimental to you, and to be honest, even though I don't like the quartering, I think it's not detrimental to him either. He's found that audience somehow, just like you. You know what I mean? Like, bro, people are gonna throw the past in your face forever, Matt. It's never gonna end. But you've somehow walked through that bullshit, and
I
still
laugh at it now. Laugh at it now,
yeah,
right?
so
Like
I understand exactly what you're saying, and that is a good segue for real.
yeah, well, it's so funny. Like I think it was like 2 years ago. One guy like DMCA down another commentary channel that was kind of in the same sphere that was coming after me, and I heard about it, and I just responded to him all like, "Does anybody want me to flag him? I mean, it'd be for the greater good."
He's steering into the skid like that. That's
right,
hilarious, bro.
dude. And I got people were just like, "Oh fuck, man! Like fucking shit."
Oh, this don't hurt him anymore. We have no ammo.
Yeah. Oh no, someone the other day nailed me with a zinger. I was like, it was when I was sick, and I tweeted him all like, I'm like my face when I'm sick, my body's sore, I finally get comfortable, but then I gotta pee, right? And I use like the meme from Spider-Man where he's crying, right? And then someone's all like, it would have been funnier if you use the image of you crying. I'm all like, fuck. Yeah, that actually would be a lot funnier. I'm gonna load that one in the chamber for later, because like you just gotta fucking laugh at this shit. Like I'm in Alaska, and there's this fucking huge like 8-foot stuffed polar bear, and I just got in front of it, took a selfie, and just said, "I met a fan."
Oh no, really?
I did that over the summer.
That is so funny, but like
I did that.
That's like not funny, but so funny.
I did that because it's self-deprecating humor. It's like it's whatever. Like I'm acknowledging I'm a moron, but I'm laughing at myself, right?
Yeah, no, I get it. That's a great joke. That's a really good.
And it's just, and then a lot of positive response, like, "Oh yeah, that was really fucking funny."
That is.
It's just
funny.
you just gotta like that's the thing is you just gotta laugh at yourself. Garrick here brings up Tyrone Magnus. I fucking hate Tyrone Magnus. The best thing that ever happened to Tyrone Magnus was grade A under A. Go look at that video.
Dude, that guy came out of nowhere, Maddie, blew the fuck up, and then disappeared. It was so weird to me because his
YouTube
YouTube
kneecapped him. That's what happened.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah. So to give you a brief overview, so like Tyrone Magnus, like all the React channels, I do. By the way, I kind of view I think silent reaction channels are cringe, but I do think it does fall under fair use, and I say that because like isn't it like 90% of all communication is nonverbal? So if we're doing a transformative response to someone reacting to it through physical acts, how is that any different from someone talking? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I'm one of those people. I'm a mark, bro. I really am. I'm a mark. I like those reaction channels, the ones that are genuine, not that cringe shit.
Yeah, but the problem with it is though is that like they react to like they show the whole of their video on screen without any cuts or anything like that. So it's this weird legal gray area. But anyway, grade A under A came out. I think it was like 2015 or early 2016. And he basically was like, "Right, mate. Yeah, fucking, fuck off like react channels, man. Right? What the fuck?
What the fuck, mate? It's like,
what the fuck, mate?
I love that dude.
It's like these fucking guys fucking just look at fucking G's fuck, right? And so, but the video blew up, and it was a huge thing, and it was all of a sudden like YouTube like more or less came in and just like freaking gunned down all of these channels like that. They just kneecapped them, and the same thing happened in 2013. Do you remember? I think you've been around as long as I have, but do you remember when video replies were a thing? when
Yeah.
you could actually
You
reply
could
to a
reply
video.
to somebody on YouTube. It would say, it even said reply, and you could
Yeah.
video reply them. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
remember
could,
that.
but then only if that channel would then post those replies. I wish they'd bring that back. I really do. I think it would
All people did
really
was beef. All people did was beef.
no.
It was so
Well,
good.
if people would beef, and that's fine. That's fine to respond. But it's like, but at the same time, what a lot of it was too was the reply girl. So the whole reply girl craze, like it was just like the girls like the low cut top with the cleavage out there, and they're just like,
Yeah.
I just want to reply to this video by Reption, and it's just the stupidest Wovickiest shit ever, right?
It is. I used to
So-
watch Nicole Arbor like get into it with everybody.
Nicole, by the way, Nicole Arbor is now selling a self-help course.
Oh, I saw it. And she's got this thing like, I lived with pain for so many years.
Yeah.
Here, put this magic bracelet on and you won't have pain anymore. And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Listen, Nicole, I used to like you until you went full alt-right." You know what I mean?
Like, what the fuck? Yeah. I forgot
fuck?
I was subscribed to her, and I got the notification, and I went like, what? Like, all right. And I watched the video and I went, what?
Rational. She was in, believe it or not, Rational. That girl was in the Fappening. Her real name's, what's her real name? But
What,
the girl that
Boxy
did
was-
Boxy, she was in the Fappening.
I don't think she was in the Fappening.
Her real
I don't
name's
think she's in
Clara or something like that. Or
I don't think she was in the Fappening. I don't remember that one, because she would have been like 14.
Well, no. Well, there's another one. Remember the Fappening 2? It happened again because
I mean, there was Shoe on Head. I know Shoe on Head's nudes that got leaked out there, but I know Shoe on Head.
Is it bad that I like her?
I mean, I haven't watched her content in a long time, but yeah, go ahead, have fun.
No, I mean I like her.
Oh, I see. I
Something
see.
about the
I mean, like,
bangs and the crazy eye makeup.
I've met her on multiple occasions, so it's like, she's a nice person. She's
and
sweet.
she's funny, man. She's
She's funny. Yeah. I mean, I will say though, like, but man, Armored Skeptic had that leash tight, dude.
Yeah,
He
they
had
broke
that
up,
leash.
right?
Yeah, he did.
Well, they were into that alternate lifestyle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That-
he was into that. Yeah,
that,
and then she, yeah, the
BDSM
BDSM
shit.
stuff. Yeah, they were
Yeah, they
like,
were really into that.
they were into, and they were public about it too, which I thought was really interesting. But I was like, all right, whatever. Anyway. But yeah, going back to the whole fucking reply girl shit, like, but YouTube also clamped down on that because that was just everywhere. Right. And so they got rid of that feature, and that was like, God damn it, that killed a lot of people's reach.
Yeah, and now
because-
they're taking away the dislike thing. It's so weird.
The dislike, but the dislike is that's not an issue. That's really not an issue. A lot of people out there, again, it's just like, it's not as big of an issue as people made it out to be. That's a whole thing I can get into. I don't really want to get into it right now.
Okay, yeah, it's about Andy. That's not, but yeah, I get in here and you start talking about these things and it triggers my memories, and then I actually have questions. Like, if it doesn't affect anything and it's not a big deal, then why did they get rid of it? That I don't understand. Like,
it's in
a
many
way to gauge
instances
whether or not something's good or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it can also be weaponized. And
Oh,
that's
it
the
can.
key.
Look what they did to the Little Mermaid. You're right. No, you're absolutely right. It can.
It's a whole
weaponized.
process.
Yeah.
Okay, fuck it. I'll run through what the quickness of it. It's what I call death by 1,000 cuts. Okay. You have to understand when it comes, I'm going to speak real fast, like micro machine level fast here. So basically it boils down to this. YouTube only really cares about one thing, and that is watch time on a video. Okay. It doesn't matter what it is. Like,
Because it generates ad revenue. Yes.
it just generates a session view, right? They want to keep people on the platform for as long as possible. Yes. For advertisements, making money, things like that. So what happens here is you have a video that your channel's success is mainly predicated on the watch time of that channel. If people watch for a long period of time, it will then serve up that content to more people. Therefore, yada, 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 making it do its thing, right? So if you all of a sudden start losing that, if your watch time starts to decrease, what does that do? It tells the system that, oh, people are not watching the content. The content is not good. The content is bad. We will not share this content.
So it's basically like bad ratings on a TV show.
It is a lot. Well, no, it's worse than that, because bad ratings are bad ratings. Bad ratings, the show is still on at 9:30 p.m. At Thursday night on NBC.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't change until they cancel it. But this is something wholly different. This is algorithmic based. So I will give you the primest example I can give. Okay. In the beginning of August 2018, the Monday Mad channel had an average watch time of 4 minutes and 55 seconds. That's an average watch time per video. Not bad. I was around the 8 to 12 minute usual range, right? Not bad. My controversy happened. I got the wave after wave of attacks on that channel, right? Videos getting like over 10,000 dislikes in some cases. I don't care about the dislike. I care about the watch time, because people come on in, they click on the video, they click dislike, they leave. They immediately start chipping away, cutting away at the watch time. So first off, here's how it works. A video that gets all those kind of dislikes ends up getting a low watch time, which YouTube then goes, oh, okay, fine, cool. We just won't recommend this video to anybody else. So it's on a case-by-case basis until a point. At some point in time, if enough videos are hit, if enough videos get that low watch time, they end up doing it to the entire channel. To the entire channel.
Wow.
And there's no recovery from that.
No.
There's really no recovery from that. So by the end of 2018 and the first few months of everything, my watch time went from 455 to 137. I went to LA. I went to YouTube's headquarters in LA for a training session, a 2-day training session, right, in November of 2018. And I spoke with them. I spoke with engineers about it. And I was like, what do I do? And they're like, there's nothing we can do to stop that. Like, turn off your likes and dislikes. But that only brings more harassment. I told them, get rid of the dislike because it stops the bleeding. Because people don't have a visual reference, they're not going to fucking do it as much. They'll still do it, and that's fine, but they're not going to do it as much.
Yeah.
So then in July of June. Yeah, no, sorry. It was July 2019. I'm at VidCon, and I end up talking with my contact liaison there. And I have, he takes me over to a product bar, which is people from different departments on YouTube. And I have an hour conversation with them about this, and I lay everything out. And here's what I discovered, that these different department heads had no overlap. There was no unit cohesion. They all worked independently of one another. The right hand did not know what the left hand was doing, which is another reason why the platform was as fucked as it was. And this was 3 years ago. Then I get into a private DM call with the guy who was running the Creator Insider channel, whose job it was to monitor feedback from the community, as well as to recommend new changes to the YouTube engineering team. And I talked to this guy about the situation, and I laid out my whole situation. And you know what that guy told me? Start a new channel. Literally, everyone I talked to at YouTube, everyone I talked to at YouTube, that I had explained the data of what happened to my channel, they just go, yeah, fucking start over, dude. Like, just start over. Lose all that work, because they know that there's no coming back from that. They literally know that there's no coming back. Once a channel gets to a certain age. So here's the thing. Tim Pool, for example, we all know Tim Pool. Tim Pool, for example, the last time I saw him was it was also the last time I saw Shoe on Head. This was September 2018, a month after my controversy, right? Month and a half after my controversies. I'm in Milwaukee for an event. I went to show everybody that, like, you can't keep me down. I'm going to fucking still do my thing, blah, 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 right? I go there. I'm talking to Tim Pool. Tim Pool goes, let me let you in on a secret. He's like, if you're ever looking to, he's like, here's what I do. He's like, if I start noticing one channel is dying, I will start a new channel and start posting content over there and direct my audience to come on over. That massive bump increases my velocity viewing, which then brings in more people and shoots it up in the algorithm. So for a while he had Timcast, then he had like Tim Pool and like Timcast Gaming, different channels IRL that all covered the same shit. And then he just ended up like building those up because he just created this funnel, this upwards funnel that allowed them to like kind of all build off one another, using the audience and using the skyrocket, the slingshot effect from directing your audience to go to a brand new channel, which doesn't have any of the baggage and can then be rocketed up in the algorithm. There is a game to this.
Definitely.
If you know how to play it, the most people who know how to play it know how to do it in very disingenuous ways, is my personal belief on it. All right. Like, have I fundamentally hurt $3 Theater by doing mostly live streams? Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Right. Why do you think Podio Commentary is its own channel? Right. Because even though the content is still better served over there.
Yeah, but everybody loves your streams, man. People stay up late. I stay up late just for your streams.
People do stay up late. Yeah. Yeah. You know people do stay up late. So, that's basically,
And you've got a lot of people ain't ever gonna have, man. I'm never gonna have one. You got whether Monday Matt channel died or not, you got a fucking silver play button, dude.
I look
Not
at it
a lot
every
of
day.
motherfuckers can say that. You know what I mean? That's like at first I didn't get it, but now like I get it, man. Because I used to be part of that hate train. You know that. I used to be part of that.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying that this is kind of the scenarios. Anyway, I know that was I've had a lot of rants tonight, a lot of explanations of things that have gone on.
People love it.
But I think that's a big factor with what's happening with the platform, which is honestly one of the reasons why like I've just been more interested in podcasting. Jess here says I stay up late because of work. Well, you just gotta. Yeah, that's true. Jess does. Silver play button tiers are the best. Anyway, let's talk about let's talk about the huge dipshit of the day.
Over it, Matt. Leave me the fuck alone. You're starting to freak me out. It's obsessive.
It's scary, isn't it?
It is legitimately like single white female. Like, dude, move on. He's like Max the Mandalorian. Do I gotta like we gotta dig up some dirt on him to sort of scare him to shut up too? I don't understand. Like,
yeah, that's a nice little intro to Andy Signore to give you an idea about Andy Signore,
who had nothing to do with the whole we're going to show Max without his mask, and who had nothing to do with stirring up that whole thing between Ripa and fucking Jody and then dipping out. Oh, I don't want nothing to do with it. You're the bitch ass motherfucker that stirred it up. This dude is an undercover instigator. Okay, go ahead. You know how I feel about this.
No, I know. Yeah. There's definitely a fair amount that is wrong with him. And so today, this new article popped up here. It says here, he was canceled during the Me Too movement. Now he's using YouTube to attack celebrity accusers. I do want to point out that this particular headline, I'm not the biggest fan of because there's not a lot. I mean, obviously, like Amber Heard is who they're referring to.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is not 100%. Like it's I don't know. It's kind of like, it could have been better. But anyway, here it says pushback against the Me Too movement and the shifting economics on YouTube have elevated Andy Signore and other online creators to new heights. From Cat Tenbarge. So it says for Andy Signore, the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard defamation trial was a goldmine. Starting in April and spanning just a few months, Signore, 43. I thought he was way older. I thought he was like 45, but anyway, more than doubled the following of his YouTube channel where he comments on news and pop culture. He's made more than 300 videos about the trial and its participants, bringing in millions of views and thousands of dollars in contributions from fans. Never mind tens of thousands of dollars in ad revenue from the ads.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Like I heard Saggy doing a stream earlier about this, and she's like, he probably makes like $1,000 from the ads.
Saggy's crushing it on this topic. She's been
diving in. Yeah, she's now openly antagonizing like lawyers, which is really funny. But no, if he's pulling in like when I was at my height on the Monday and Matt channel, like even in 2017, or even 2018 before everything went to shit.
Yeah, the apocalypse.
Yeah. Well, no, the apocalypse started in March of 2017. No, it's 2017.
Yeah.
But I was still pulling in I had like 2 million views a month, and I was pulling in like close to $4,500, right? On 2 million views a month. So you can live off that pretty well if you get that momentum going.
I never made that. Even
if you get that momentum going, you can. Yeah. And so he's pulling in a lot of money. So the super chats are only one angle of it. But it is the monetization on it. Because a lot of Andy's audience, I guarantee you, are the older boomer kind who watch from like YouTube TV and they watch from their phone and they watch.
I just get like a True TV vibe. You know what I mean? You know what True TV is? Where they show the court cases. I just get that vibe from his audience lately. I don't know why. When that Amber Heard shit was going on.
Yeah.
I get that vibe, man. So yeah, definitely boomery for sure.
Yeah. I saw the thing bring Saggy on. She did a 4-hour stream on it tonight. I'm going to give my take. You know what? We'll just do my take and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, Britt's in here too. Hi, Britt. I just watched your video today, Brittany. I just watched it today. It's from a few weeks ago, but I just got around to watching it today. Where she tells her side. Pretty good video.
Yeah, no, I did see that video. That actually popped up in my recommendations.
Popped up in my recommendations. I was all like, it's fucking Skynet, Maddie. They know what we're watching, bro.
They know, they're tracking us. Fanny Meneselis are saying, didn't he have a falling out with Paul from Halogen Helix as well? He did, and then Paul and I became friends. And this is all because Andy was trying to use Saggy and use Paul to try to put shit out on me. Andy was giving them dirt on me in order to have them attack me with it. You know what I mean? And like Paul did, and then he eventually deleted the videos when he realized that, oh wait, maybe he was being lied to. Anyway. So it says here, it's particularly impressive run considering that not long ago, the YouTube-focused company Signore founded, Screen Junkies, said it had fired him, citing a variety of sexual misconduct allegations. Signore has denied the allegations. But the reputational hit also set the stage for his comeback. Signore has capitalized on the allegations against him, emerging as one of many popular creators on YouTube, making news-focused content filtered through a culture war lens. It's become a lucrative endeavor thanks to a shift in how creators make money on YouTube, where donations now flow from an audience skeptical of the Me Too movement. I mean, again, she's going to focus predominantly on super chats with this. That's only one element of one part of it. There's like super chats, there's ad rev, there's channel memberships. And then of course there's direct payments through like Cash App or PayPal or whatever. And then, also all the Amazon wishlist stuff too. So there's like, and this stuff all kind of pops up in here, but there's I think different ways to kind of look at it. So Signore's new channel, Popcorn Planet, now has more than 675,000 subscribers who watches videos and live streams about daily news and pop culture justice, which I think is just one of the most disgusting things ever.
It's so cringe.
It's so cringe. It's just like, hi guys, I'm Andy Signore. We're going to do the pop culture justice.
We're going to talk about how Britney's getting screwed over. Like, come on, man. You know what I mean? Like that Britney Spears shit. And then what do you do with the Gabby Petito stuff? Yeah, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Then the Petito stuff was like, he's like, I went to where like they last saw Brian Laundrie. It's like, fuck. I went to the campground he went to with his parents. Like, dude, okay, come on, man. Like, look, like, what are you gonna find out there? You're not Dog the fucking Bounty. Even Dog didn't find shit. All right. So, Signore covers what he characterizes as the injustice of the Me Too movement and the criticism he and other men who have been accused of various forms of sexual misconduct have faced in the past 5 years. It's a shift that other creators have made as well, capitalizing on the broader pushback against social justice movements. Some of Signore's newer content takes aim at the people he said contributed to the allegations against them, or him and their aftermath. Like he holds a grudge, man. He holds a grudge on that 100%. Signore has also cultivated a fan base that include people who identify as survivors of sexual assault and domestic violence who don't believe Heard's allegations against Depp. Some of them have donated to Signore, noting their histories of having been abused in the comments. And that is I know the reason people do that is because they want to, they want their voice to be heard. Right.
Yeah.
Like I get all that, but it's like, it just bothers me. Like, I view myself as an intelligent guy and who can I can read people relatively well. Like I was in a call today with somebody and we're talking about that a little bit. And he goes, oh, read me. And I read him and he's like, okay, that's pretty accurate. I'm like, you're like this. And he's like, oh yeah, that's pretty accurate. It's not difficult to look at people and kind of get them. But at the same time, like I would never host an advice live stream. Like if people were like, what should I do with my life? I'd be like, I'm not fucking qualified for this. Like, that's not, I don't think that's like the right thing for any of us to do, but Andy's done it on his hugging the cactus stuff. Anyway, but Signore's recent success has been difficult for some of the people who've worked with him at Screen Junkies or who have appeared on YouTube with him and see him as profiting off of his own alleged misbehavior. He makes money. This is Ray, who is an anonymous individual, says he makes money off of victims and says he is one. Ray, who has appeared in his live streams before and asked that her last name be withheld to protect her privacy. People blindly believe him, which is true. They do. They see a guy who's been, wrongly accused, and they think, oh, he's never done anything wrong, Yeah,
that's what's messed up because I feel like he took that one time that it was disingenuous and it was a lie, and he weaponized it so he could get away with it, doing it for real now because he's done it to a lot of people.
Yeah, Yeah, he really has.
And that's fucked up, bro. That's four-dimensional chess right there, dude. That's crazy.
Well, I'll put it to you like this. When I had my fallout with Andy, I got contacted by people that I know, 2 of which that I know for a fact had been in his house and on his live streams. And they were like, dude, he's a piece of shit. You have no idea. I got emails from people who know him in Tampa who were like, oh yeah, your characterization of him is spot the fuck on. He is that shitty of a person. Like emails to me about this because people out there, they know how bad he is. But it's like, the thing is in his response to this was fascinating because he goes like, he talks about the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp, how much money. That's what he focuses on, which is why it's like, that's my biggest complaint with this article is like, you focus on like the sexual harassment stuff with the jerk off vids and then like kind of try to tie it into the Johnny Depp stuff, which I get because there's like the overlap of how the audience came to be and then how he was able, it's like shooting fish in a barrel, to be fair, in the way he's probably approaching it. And it's just like, like it's hard to then when you can give someone an out, right, or a way to deflect from the more salacious angle, it becomes more difficult. It's like, I don't know. It's frustrating. It's frustrating because it's like there's only so much she can do from like a defamation perspective or like a fair use, free speech perspective without going into slander or libel or defamation. I get all that, but it's at the same time, it's like, I always like to argue. I always like to tell people too, I'm like, the best prosecutor never asks a question they don't already know the answer to. So it's like the best journalist would not write a prose that they don't already have a solid piece of evidence to back up, sort of thing. And it's like, how would you approach this, situation? Like what is more sexy? Like, oh, the Me Too stuff making money. That's kind of old news, to be fair. That's old hat. Like when the Rittenhouse trial happened, like Rekieta Law made all that money, the Johnny Depp stuff, all the other trials that have happened, like all of that's already been talked about before. But what's new is you are a person who's claimed to be a victim of false allegations and a witch hunt and blah, 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 blah. But you're using your platform to target vulnerable women to get them into secret DM chats and then to kind of like, get them to watch you spank your dick.
Caught in 4K, baby.
Caught in 4K. Yeah, and it's just like, I'm just saying, it's like that to me is the sexier angle.
That's not even the worst part to me, Matt. The worst part is his predatory, like, now I'm not calling him a predator. I'm saying he has predatory behavior where he will find these women who are down on their luck and they're in a vulnerable state in their life and he will manipulate the fuck out of them, man. And then he will just throw them away once they don't want to watch him rub one out or give him phone head or, once he sees them as a liability or something that could fuck up his next endeavor, he just throws them away and then he trashes their rep and he calls them a hater and, and then he dumps all their personal shit out there, sends his audience to attack them. But then if someone does that to him, I'm going to sue you for slander. That's revenge corn. Why the fuck did you put that out there? Well, you did it too, motherfucker. Tit for tat, bitch. Dude, I get so triggered by that motherfucker, man. I hate even thinking that he's going to get away with this because he is, Matt. He's going to get away with this.
No, I know. Oh, I know he is. He's going to get away with a lot. Eventually he won't, right? Like that's just the truth. Like eventually he won't, but, at the same time, what's going to happen is like, enough people are going to talk about it. It is going to spread. And eventually it's going to pick up to someone, look, this article is going to go out there. It was making its way around. And a lot of people are talking about it. I was being attacked for being sourced in this. I thought that was pretty funny. We'll talk about that, but we'll just see. Anyway, let's keep going here. So in a response to a series of emailed questions, Signore said NBC News was sensationalizing a private relationship between consenting adults. He didn't provide specific responses to other questions about his YouTube operations. Oh, sorry. I missed this part here. My bad. I missed the best part. On November 13th, Ray hosted a live stream on her channel that included a new accusation that Signore had sent unsolicited nude video of himself masturbating to a woman in November 2021. Of course, he says here that it was sensationalizing a private relationship between consenting adults. If you listen to Britney's side of things,
exactly.
It's a little different. But of course, he's basically admitting here that some shit went down, right? He's basically admitting that the video is real. He's admitting this. He's like, you're sensationalizing a private relationship between consenting adults. Well, okay, fine. How is that video real or fake?
Yeah,
But
I love it when he tried the whole deep fake angle and all.
Yeah,
Shut
it's
the
revenge
fuck up,
porn.
bro.
It's revenge porn. It's a deep fake. Is it revenge porn? Or is it, I mean, there is revenge porn deep fakes that are out there. You can actually, this is true. You can go on P-Hub right now and
Yeah, I
find
saw an
like
AOC one. I
like
saw an
there's
AOC
AOC.
one. Yeah.
I saw Lauren Southern. They did one with Lauren Southern, but the funny thing about that though is Lauren Southern shoots her videos with like a Canon 5D with a really nice lens, so it's a really crisp image. And so like I saw like when this stuff first started happening, I saw that clip floating around, and it just like she's talking, but she's like wow, she's like doing reverse cowgirl like the model
That's
whatever,
insane.
and it just looks like she's like talking about like like the crimes of the left or some shit. It's so weird. It's such a weird because it's like just the visual acuity. The quality on her face was so much better than like the body they put her on. So it just looks really weird. But anyway, I digress. So Signore's evolution reflects the ongoing pushback against the Me Too. Well, we already know about all this stuff, right? We know how YouTube and TikTok and Twitter and people consume their news. We know all this. So on those platforms, all right, culture war issues, absolutely. Particularly when they feature major celebrities, absolutely, while echoing a growing distrust of mainstream media. And that's what I was talking about earlier with that rant earlier about just how, people feeling like they're being left behind. In fact, this comment came in here from Jeff Gershon. Thank you, Jeff. It says, Matt, this rant of yours is simply brilliant. We need more people like you in the YouTube verse speaking truth to this ongoing push to ruin entertainment by making it all about wokeness. It's just like, all that shit. It's all culture war stuff. That's what I'm trying to say. So this is Emily Dreyfus, a senior editor and fellow at Technology Social Change Project. She says, there's this weird kind of inversion that's been happening where individual people seem more trustworthy than the system. That's not something that's new, right?
No,
and
that's not new at all.
But what it is what it really boils down to is the idea of authority. All right. It's not that one person is more trustworthy than the system. It's that one person speaks about the system and they become the authority on it. All right. It's kind of like a teacher student situation, right? Where you've got the student in class and they're being told something by a person with authority. So you believe the person with authority. If you ever, there was a thread on Reddit a while back that was like, what is the one thing you were told as a kid that you believe was true, but was bullshit? Right. And how many times did we hear things as we, like urban legends or just like old sayings or whatever that, fucking Easter Bunny, Jesus Christ, right? Like all that shit, right? Fucking circumcision means something good, whatever, right? Like all of that shit. Like, but we hear it, and we hear it through repetition, and through repetition comes indoctrination, and that becomes the educational part of it, right? People learn through repetition. So in these scenarios, it's not that a person seems or is more trustworthy than the system. It's that they become the educator. And that's where the trustworthiness and the parasocial relationship comes from. Because here's the thing, guys, we have parasocial relationships with our educators because they grade us on what they teach us. They set the tone, they set the narrative, they set everything. And then if you do what they want, you know what you get, Chris? You get a nice little gold star. Yeah. Or you get an A, you get a plus, right? Maybe it's a gamer and you get an S ranking. I don't know.
You also get a full-time scholarship to an echo chamber.
Oh, dude, I loved fighting in college. That was so much fun. I go to I went to a leftist fucking community college, but I got into battles with my fucking professors.
No, see, I got lucky because I did so much time in prison at such a young age. You know what I mean? I got to go to school because of it. It's called the Fixed Income Education Plan. I got to go to Mizzou because I was an ex-convict. You know what I mean? Like, I got lucky with that. But I did a lot of fighting in there too, man. And, a lot of my shit I did from at home. But, I did get my degree. So I'm happy,
Max is doing a live stream with friends like Matt.
I've been reading that. I've been
Jesus
reading that.
fucking Christ. Man.
That's all.
But that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying, man. You know, did he call me? He might have called me. I don't think he called me. No, he didn't call me. Cool.
Jason, he's check your DMs.
No, because I'm reading an article that features me in the article.
We're on a totally different.
Yeah, I'm over here. Subbed. Hold on, I'm telling Saggy. But yeah, who cares? Who cares?
When you say you loved fighting in college, did you mean you used to get in debates with your teachers or other
Yeah. I got in debates. Like I got into one debate one morning. Well, my teacher and I we throw barbs at each other, right? Like really hardcore barbs.
That's
like
the sign of a good relationship, though.
Like he would walk in, and we're taking a test one day. This is true, 100% true. We're taking a test one day. This is my MCOM 110 class, right? The very first media class I went into. And no, sorry, MCOM 120. It was MCOM 120. And the very first media class I took. And you know, we're taking a test, and he comes over to me and he taps on the desk and he just goes like, "Mr. Jarbo, I have a question for you." And I go like, "What's up, Mr. Sneed?" And he goes like, "Do you have AIDS?" And I'm like, "What? What?" And he's like, "Do you have AIDS?" And like everyone stops their test and just like looks over, and I'm looking at him and I go, "What?" He's like, "I'm asking if you have AIDS." And I'm like, "No, I don't have AIDS." And he goes, "Great, you're just the asshole I'm looking for."
Wow.
Right. And he said that to me in class, right? So like a week later, I roll in and I'm a little bit late. And a couple minutes later, I walk in and he's like, "You're late." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sorry. What did I miss?" And he goes, "We were just having a conversation about semen."
Jesus.
Right.
That's
And
like
without
a cool teacher,
without even breaking a beat, dude, skipping a beat, I just said, "Well, you were in the Navy. You know how to swallow."
Fuck.
And I sit down and everyone, right?
Oh
Oh my
my God.
God. Ah. And they stop and like you could hear a pin drop and he just looks at me and he's like, "That was fucking good." You know, and we've been friends ever since, man. We're friends on Facebook. I talk to him occasionally. Like him and I always got along, but we would battle. We would battle over stuff in class, right? Like, so it's like, no, I don't think college is like 100% like a liberal echo chamber, but I think you can have like healthy discussions in many ways and not be bound.
It doesn't have to be liberal, Maddie. I just meant like whatever that teacher's on. And then later on, this is an article about that transferring to like people believing anything that these YouTubers say and they become part of that echo chamber. That's what I meant. You know?
Yeah. That's
I don't think every college is liberal, you know.
No, not every college is liberal. Enterprising here says, "Matt, apparently Max is saying so, let him. I don't care." You know, I don't think Max is a bad guy, but I can't. He's a like I said, man, agent of chaos. Did he have to use that image of me? God damn.
That's a pretty good image. That's a good thumbnail.
It's not a good thumbnail. It's a terrible image of me. I have such fucking
you look like a fucking UFC fighter in that picture. Like that you know what that face tells me? Come get some, motherfucker.
all I see is just chubby chickmunk cheeks. That's all I see.
Yeah, we're lucky, man. I got lucky, man. Some guys at our age, man, we start getting that double, triple chin. We're lucky, man. We don't have that shit, man.
No, I don't have. I have fat there, but it's like I've always had a fat neck, right? And I'm just like, I was all like, what can I do? Is there anything I can do to like get that? Like, can I get liposuction to take it out?
That's about it.
My girlfriend just goes, well, you could go to like a sleep apnea clinic, right? And figure out if like you know if that's like clogging your pipes at night and shit. And then because I have full coverage, health coverage. So I'm like, you know, just go to the fucking doctor and like get them to fucking authorize.
How the fuck did you pull full health?
Dude, I don't know. I moved to Washington. All right. I apply for health coverage because you have to, right?
And they gave it to you?
100% covered by the state.
First try.
And it's been like that for 5 years now.
That's like hitting the fucking lottery,
5 years
bro.
now, man. It's like all my diabetes medication is covered. My therapy sessions are all covered. My doctor's visits are all covered.
Too,
I've had like MRIs and shit all covered and stuff. Yeah.
Are you on insulin or metformin?
I'm on metformin, man.
Yeah, that stuff's dangerous, but I heard it's a lot better than insulin for some reason.
It's helped regulate weight. I'll tell you that. Like, I got to do more. It's like it's been kind of bad recently, but it's,
I got the type 2. I got the bad shit. You know what I mean?
No, type 2 is type 1 is the bad shit.
Yeah,
type
that's the one I got. The one where I got the one where I can lose toes and shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, like I'm down for losing weight, but not limbs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't want to lose.
So
anything.
yeah.
That's why
But I mean, it is what it is. You know,
I don't know. That just shocked the fuck out of me. 100% full coverage.
yeah, it's
Bro,
crazy.
You know how long people work to get that? My mom and dad don't even have that.
I
in
mean, like, don't get
retirement.
me wrong. It ain't like the best. I can't get my next doctor appointment until like February 24th. You know what I mean? So it's like, it ain't perfect, but it's covered.
Man, that's
You know,
good.
I'll make
That-
it work.
that
And I can
saves
go to,
so much money.
urgent care. I can go to urgent care if I need to go to urgent care.
Are
And
your
that's
kids
covered.
too?
Kids are covered as well.
Good
Yeah.
shit, bro. See, you hit the fucking lottery, bro.
Well, that's why we want to stay in Washington. We like,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
like
don't go
Washington.
nowhere.
Yeah. We're like, fuck that. My girlfriend's like, don't make any more money. I'm like, I kind of owe some. I have debt. You know, I'm like, I gotta do it.
I get it. But for someone to get 100, I didn't mean to get sidetracked. That just really shocked me, man.
It's crazy. It's fucking crazy, man. But anyway, all right here. So moving on here. Here we go. Talking to me. Matt Jarbo, a full-time YouTube content creator, said the origins of Signore's and similar creators' new style of content traces to around 2017 and the so-called YouTube adpocalypse. In response to advertisers concerned about ads appearing on racist and anti-Semitic videos, YouTube gave advertisers more tools to limit which creators could make money from their ads, including allowing advertisers to opt out of ads on content about tragedy and conflict or sensitive social issues, which is very true. The restructuring of YouTube's advertiser tools reined in revenue for many small creators whose content wasn't racist or anti-Semitic in the first place. Oh, we all got fucked in 2017. Fucked. I mean,
hold on. Let
fucked.
me read this. Don't scroll up again. Hold on.
All right.
So they're basically giving you credit for that theory of why shit changed. This writer, at least.
Well, I mean, like she's using me as like a source for like talking about the adpocalypse. Because I took her through the adpocalypse, like what happened in the beginning of it and everything else when we were talking. You know, and so that's the funny thing about this too, is like I was getting shit on by like the quartering because I was interviewed for this months ago, you know, and I'm all like, just because I may have like fucked up my old channel doesn't mean I don't know the platform.
Exactly. That's
it. Just, I don't lower myself to the same bullshit.
Fuck them dudes, man. That dude's every day he's on there trying to fucking chill. I used to like him. And then I started noticing talking a different way and censoring himself. And the whole time he's censoring himself, self-censoring himself. He's preaching to other channels about how they need to get out there and don't fall for this censorship shit. Get out there and fix Susan Wojcicki, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, he's censoring himself and trying to sell me like fucking meta PCs and shit. You know what I mean? It's a double standard of bullshit. You want everybody to go out there and you want foot soldiers. You want everybody to go out there and attack people like Matt Jarbo and attack people like this and that and talk about censorship and blah, blah, blah. And get drunk every night and say your dumb shit on Twitter. But when you do your YouTube videos, you as quiet as a church mouse, homeboy. You quiet as shit to the point that you won't even say certain words on your fucking channel. You're sitting there self-censoring yourself, but having other people go out there and fight censorship. I'm sorry, Matt, but that doesn't make any sense to me. You know,
a lot of it is very hypocritical. A lot of it is very bullshit. And that's what people, I think, out there, you know, people know this. It's not that people don't know this. They do know this. This is not anything that is new. This is not anything that is unheard of. We fundamentally fucking know all about this shit. The thing to remember is that it's a game to many people. And yeah, RJ here says Andy is cringe. He really is.
He is.
You know,
and I didn't mean to go off about the quartering, but
no,
you know, for him to attack you, and I've gotten into it. He's plenty of fucking
when I had my controversy a couple years ago, he did one video where he was like apparently addressing me like a big brother talking little brother sort of thing, like whatever. But I didn't know the fucking guy. People like, did you watch the quarterings video on you? I'm like, I didn't watch anyone's video on me because why the fuck would I do that? Why the fuck would I watch content that's negative about me?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
and
it's not
when that shit happened, man. I can just tell, man, you were kind of in a shitty fucking place, man.
Yeah, right. But it's like, but then like he did like 2 more videos on me where the third video, he called me a raging sociopath. You know, and then when I went to Milwaukee a couple weeks later, he was there. I met him. He, you know, it's, you know, and I was like, you know, I'm not a raging sociopath, right? You know, 'cause he doesn't give a fuck what he actually says. Like, I know this. I know these fucking people. They don't hold conviction. They're politicians. They politic. That's all they do. right? They're just pundits. They get up there and they're just like, beat your chest about this, but they don't actually live that fucking pious ass lifestyle.
No, they don't.
They don't do any of that shit.
He's
all right?
always
Like,
name dropping. I know I got a half Asian lawyer, blah, blah, blah. He's trying to name drop Steven Crowder. He'll name drop anybody that can be in the algorithm, but at the same time, man, he's just a shady fuck. And he will beat a dead horse. Every video for the past week has been nothing, maybe 2 weeks. Elon. He's just, you're right. He's playing the game. Elon's in the algorithm right now. Elon's the hot topic. Before that, it was what's her name from Captain Marvel, Brie Larson. You know what I mean? They're just playing the game. They're just playing the game. And then he gets all shocked when some guy wearing a dress beats the shit out of him.
Well, he gets one shot in. The guy got one, and I don't prescribe to that as being a good
I
thing.
don't. I hate violence too, but there are some people that if I saw them, Matt, furniture would move. I'm sorry, furniture would move, man, because there's no other way to. That's just my mentality because I'm stupid.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's kind of like it's these a lot of these guys don't actually care. Even Andy doesn't care about the things that they talk about. Like I only want to talk about the things that I'm passionate about. Like people will be like, you talk about this. Like, I don't care enough in many instances to it's not that it's like, I get requests often for certain things. And it's like, most of the time I'm not super interested in it. And I don't want to be a dick about it.
No, but you gotta do
but I'm not, yeah, but I don't want to
interested in,
but I don't want to spend my time going like, I don't care. I just don't want to, I don't know how to phrase it in a way that it's like, look, I don't want to devalue your interests, but they're not my interests, and we can find a way to make it work, but it's like, it's just that kind of shit. Like, I just want to be like, if I talk about something and if I have passion behind it, I'm not making that up. I'm legitimately out there, telling you guys how I feel about stuff, and I'm going to back it up with as much data as I fucking can.
Well, I tell you, from what I've noticed, man, I never expected you and me to become friends. I didn't think that shit was ever going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the more I got to know you, you and me, we talked backstage, and one thing, you and me are pretty much the same dude when the microphone shuts off. You know what I mean? We're the same dude in real life that we are on here.
Yeah.
And a lot of people aren't. A lot of people are absolutely fake, which is fine. Do your act. You know what I mean? But I prefer a motherfucker who's going to keep it 100. That's just me. I'm shocked that something. I almost see. I won't say that when we're live, but I've talked to you backstage about how I can't believe something like that hasn't happened yet. You know what I'm talking about? Remember?
I don't. Top of my head, I can't think of it there right now.
There are a lot of people that are disliked in a major, major way on social media. And then they go to these giant public events. And I feel like it's just a matter of time,
Yeah. I mean, I've been concerned about that myself. Right. But it's, we can't live in fucking fear.
I understand. I won't say it live
Yeah.
completely. I won't go completely out there and just say it because I don't want to articulate that and then have somebody get an idea in their head and it be my fault. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm just really shocked that it blows my mind.
Yeah.
Anyway, keep reading. I'm gonna go grab a bottle of water. I'm sorry. Yeah, but this shit triggers me, Matt. It really does, man. Like, especially when we're talking about this group of people, man. People like fucking Andy and Jody and the quarter pounder. And I'll be right back.
All right. Yeah, I'll keep going with this shit here. Okay. So around the same time, YouTube introduced Super Chats, a tipping option. We all know about that. That pushed Jarbo and others creators in a new direction, appealing directly to already polarized audiences for tips. I mean, yeah. Okay. I'll grant that. So here's what I said. I said that made everybody go, how can I become more hyperbolic when I stream? How can I make more money that way? It's been a nightmare ever since. And it really has. And this does go back to like 2017, really, kicking off like that, where people just wanted to go so over the top and attack everybody, just because of the super chats. This is when I was referring to this specifically, I was referring to like the end of 2017 all the way through most of 2018 at a time predominantly known as like internet blood sports. If you know anything about that, you know what I'm talking about, but that was like some serious shit. And it still kind of happens, although it's not as crazy as it was. Anyway, Jarbo said he and other creators pivoted to reactionary content that fell into, I was already doing that well before this, but that fell into an anti-SJW or anti-social justice warrior category. Jarbo says that he has reflected on and now regrets some of the content he created, which is absolutely true. Absolutely true. I have said a lot of dumb things, and backed a lot of dumb plays many years ago. I that's not me, man. And, you get sucked into it, and that's the whole thing. So yeah, I do lament certain things that I have said and certain videos I have made, and I'm glad to not be doing that anymore. There are people out there I probably need to apologize to for some of the things I said, how I said them, how I went about it, but we'll have to see if that ever comes to fruition. I should probably apologize.
Yeah, well, we all end up having I've had to apologize to you many times, because of the way my behavior was when I was believing all that bullshit. You know what I mean? So I get it, man. I've said some dumb shit. Me and Bro Danips, especially my early days of YouTube, bro. Not my early days of YouTube, but my early when I came back after I deleted the big channel and all that shit, and I decided to just start over and do things with Bro Dan and Mac. It was right after my brother died, and grief works in a weird way, man. You will just flip out on anybody for anything. And some of the shit I said to hey, I know that Star Wars girl and Jesse Milestone. Good, bro. I've said some foul shit, so I feel like I owe people apologies too, man. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. There are people out there that I think people have bad days and you kind of lump in on it and shit. So all right, going on here, it says a person who accused Signore of sexual harassment said they were working unpaid for Signore when he told them that he had masturbated to their photos and asked whether he could masturbate to them in person. This accuser identifies as gender non-binary and uses they, them pronouns. I mean, okay. I don't quite, okay. Anyway. And then it goes to another woman, who accused him of sexual misconduct, said he tried to force her to use sexual toys with him during sex, took photos of her without consent, and offered her a position at Screen Junkies in exchange for sexual favors. This was the, that was from when that whole thing went down. Now, Signore acknowledged that he had flirted with fans and cheated on his ex-wife, but he denied all other allegations, including the allegation of sexual harassment and alleged sexual misconduct. It was at the time a precipitous fall for a person who had found success during an early and lucrative era of YouTube. In 2007, Signore accepted the Golden Popcorn statue for Best Movie Spoof for the Deadpool parody on Honest Trailers. That was actually a really good one, by the way. That was solid.
I've never accused Andy of not being good.
No, Andy, I will, no, I will not disagree. I've said Andy's a talented guy. He's absolutely a talented guy. If only
he went to the dark side, bro. If only.
Yeah. It's basically. And so that's it. He chose, he let anger overtake him is what it is. Now Jarbo says he and Signore met around 2018 through a mutual friend in an informal community of creators who have all faced backlash. That's not exactly what I said. I told her that we met in 2018 through a mutual friend, and that at the time, because I'd been canceled, I'd been meeting other canceled people. So it wasn't really an informal community. I mean, it's I guess a nice way of saying it, but it wasn't anything that's complete. Jarbo said some of his own controversies stem from his involvement in Gamergate, a historic harassment campaign against women online. But said Signore started meeting other canceled people as he rebuilt his YouTube career, which is true. He was doing this rebound press tour, which I said,
yeah, I remember that.
I didn't assault this woman, and here's the proof of that. The evidence Signore presented in a YouTube video is a series of previously unpublished communications where he alleged between him and his sexual misconduct accuser that implied a consensual sexual relationship. The woman who accused him responded at the time of the statement, saying that her allegations still stand, but didn't respond to a request for comment. Then Signore returned to YouTube in 2018 on his personal channel, Popcorn Planet, where, by the way, he had 75,000 subscribers on that channel when he started making content again. So the 675,000 that he's got right now, subtract about 75,000 of that, and that gives you more of an accurate number. That doesn't give you anything else other than maybe a little bit of detail, but that's about it. So then here it says that he was and this is where it's true. He was doing positive content. I was telling her about this, where he would, go to his local theater and he would do screenings and he would interview people there and he would try to make positive movie content, but it didn't pull in the views. And I get that it takes time and shit like that, but like he started just kind of giving into the culture war stuff, pivoting, pushing back against mainstream media cancel culture and some Me Too accusers. He cited examples of positive or progressive criticism aimed at popular celebrities and franchises, and he took aim at some online some celebrity accusers and outlets like BuzzFeed. I mean, he was kind of like flailing his arms at everybody that he felt had ever slighted him, and he still does.
He still does. I was gonna say he still does, bro. He holds grudges.
Oh, he absolutely holds grudges there.
And now he's found a way to weaponize it.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's found a way because it was the Gabby Petito thing, because that happened in Tampa. He lived in Tampa. Close proximity to that allowed him to dive into it, allowed him to keep going with it. So it says here, it's like Signore also tapped into the trend of providing minute by minute commentary about major pop culture and true crime news stories, often making dozens of videos on a particular topic. One was the disappearance of Gabby Petito. Signore made more than 80 videos about her in just 2 months. And I said he dove into
I love
Petito.
that quote you're about to read. Yeah.
Yeah. Like he dove into the Petito thing until it was like overkill. Anything he can latch onto, he's boosted his account now.
That Petito stuff was so overkill. And then he was like vilifying the parents. What are these parents? I was like, dude, look, it's all a tragic thing. And at the end of the day, don't forget, they lost their son too. Okay. He a horrible person, but that's not how a parent thinks. A parent thinks, I lost my son. Why did this happen? Blah, blah, blah. And this motherfucker's vilifying them without facts. Now, if it turns out later, thanks, train. If it comes, the train's coming through. If it comes out later that they knew or whatever, I get it. But he was vilifying them like they knew he was going to do it and they didn't stop it. Like, what the fuck, Andy? Shut the fuck up, man. You're poisoning the well. You're right, man. He complete overkill, and to the point that he was almost fabricating shit. That's horrible.
He definitely went into a scenario like he just kept doing all this shit, and it was just like whatever would happen and stuff like that. And that's the
that's the hype train.
That's the hype train.
That's
there funny. You go.
Well, no, he turned into what's her face on us, man. Nancy Grace. He's the fucking Andy Signore, you're a fucking Karen, okay? You are the YouTube.
He's a Darren. No, I don't
fucking know. Karen. He's the YouTube Nancy Grace, theorizing and fucking with these investigations or.
I mean, like I cover true crime, but it's so like I have so much trouble with like current true crime because like I don't want to get things wrong, and like following that day by day, like I feel like. You can, things can get out of control very quickly. And I've had situations get out of control very quickly.
And in those kinds of situations, Matt, you have to be correct.
Yeah. You have to try.
You have to try.
I mean, to Andy's credit, he has a whole team of women that do this for him.
Yeah. That he jerks off in front of. Fuck him.
Well, yeah. To some, absolutely.
I'm sorry. We don't know if he really does. I'm just saying. See,
yeah. I talked to James from Small Screen. He was supposed to come on, and he's come on in for a few. But anyway, so yeah, moving on to this one here. So we know about about the whole Me Too thing. See, again, it's all about the thing I don't like about this again is it's all the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp stuff. It's just like, all right, fine. Like to me, the jerking off to your moderators, and like sending them videos, whether, that's a more, story about like who the person is sort of thing. Right.
Yeah. It's a separate article. It's a separate article. This is supposed to be about how he is. The article that we're reading right now it doesn't match the headline. It doesn't, you know what I mean? It doesn't match the title. The title's supposed to be about how he's using celebrity bullshit to boost up his channel through tragedies and stuff like that. He's cashing in on tragedies. Yeah. This is kind of all about the Me Too shit.
It really is. It really is. All right. They talked more about the Petito thing. We know about that, right? Signore's made over 100 videos about Depp and her trial. I mean, we all know about that. So then, it says, but the millions of views may not have been as lucrative as the donations many creators brought in. Business Insider reported that the top 3 super chat earners during the trial were creators who exclusively streamed it. They all made over $100,000 just from tips. So YouTube took 30%. YouTube made a lot of money off that. However,
90 grand. Yeah.
Way more than that if you think about it. But it's like, I mean, all things considered, it's like, because YouTube has said they take 30% for memberships, super stickers, super chats. They take 55% for ad revenue. That's the split. They get 55, we get 45. So, but still, there's a lot of money in the ads.
You are carpeted through this whole interview and this article, man.
I'm all over this motherfucker.
Has he tried to contact you or message you or make
a
video?
He is not happy. I'll tell you that. He's not happy. There's actually a tweet he put out, and I don't know because there's really only like me and one other person were mentioned in this, and everything. So, but I think it's, but all right, yes. So I say here, it's always misinformation across the board, and they all pull from the same playbook. If you can tap into that emotional bit with your audience, you will easily be able to manipulate them. I mean, there's that. Signore and that's very true. It's 100% true. Signore makes money directly from his audience or super chats, who often in donations sent him with messages from viewers who say they appreciate his take on news events, some of which he discusses in relation to his past. Signore did say that there is no due process when comparing himself to Johnny Depp. I mean, when it comes to the media, there is no due process. That is true. That is like, it is trial via public opinion.
Public opinion, yeah. The court of public opinion. That's how it works.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I was looking to say. Thank you.
Yeah.
But that's basically about it. That's what a lot of what it is. So he's not wrong, and he's not wrong on that one there. He had someone here give him $50 that says, "I've been a victim of domestic violence, and what Amber Heard is doing is wrong. False accusations make it harder for real victims. Glad you came forward to defend yourself." That video was his video about my own Amber Heard was cringe.
Yeah, it's so cringe, bro.
But again, like he asked people to buy him, pay him through Cash App or PayPal and, Amazon and whatever, right? He just raised $4,000 this last July to build a whole new studio with 4K cameras for better quality. Man, I mean, like, there you go. There you go. It's like, he's like, oh, I need this. Here's like, yeah, if you want to buy me this, here's my Amazon wish list. I'll say this, man, look, Ryan Hartwell tonight sent me a package. I got it today. There are 5 individually wrapped Christmas gifts that he got me for Christmas. Right. That's very That's very sweet, very generous. I didn't ask for any of it, but it's very sweet, very generous, and like Ryan's a good dude. Like, I mean, you can have an audience that sends you things because they find something that you might like and they want to send it. Or you like, oh, here's my list.
Yeah, I've been sent things by the nerd community. I've been sent things by Enosh, Max. They've sent me, but it's like toys and stuff, but it's cool. It's really cool that they do stuff like that, but I never ask for that. You know what I mean? And a lot of people do.
Yeah. I am waiting until Christmas to open them. So, but I did open the envelope, and thank you for the Avatar pin. I will wear it when I go see the movie in a couple of days. So yeah, he sent me an envelope. He's like, oh, you can open this one before Christmas, right?
In a couple of days, you're going to see it early?
No, I'm seeing it in a week. I'm seeing it in like less than a week. I'm seeing it on Thursday.
Well, sometimes you do get to see shit early, Matt.
Well, no, I mean, I would love to get to that point of where that's more of a thing, but I live so remote. It's difficult. I can't go to the city. I mean, I would make a trip for Avatar, though. If they were like, come to Seattle and watch Avatar, I'd be like, I will brave the traffic. So, I will brave it in order to be able to view it.
Which nerd community? This one, the one we're kind of in, the one with Max, and the one with Enosh, and the one with Will, and my friend Corey, and then there's Brodan and Mac, and just we all kind of jumping on each other's streams, and they've all sent me cool little things, Star Wars toys, or like I couldn't find a Megatron to go with my Optimus, so Enosh sent me a Megatron, little things, but it means a lot to me because it's like, wow, these people are actually thinking about me and trying to make my day better. That's a beautiful thing, man. It really is.
No, that is always good when people do that, because it's like, you end up like kind of coming into their lives as often as you do, and you're in their head because they put headphones on, or they listen to you while they drive, or while they game, or while they do whatever. And it's
I listen.
You get in there,
I listen to you guys all the time. All the time.
Yeah, I get people messaging me and they're just like, oh yeah, no, you stream too late for me to listen to you live, but I'll always catch it in the morning or whatever. And I'm like, all right, great, cool. So thank you. All right. So Signore frequently makes videos mentioning his former coworkers and even their partners, which is true. Ray, along with other two former collaborators who asked to remain anonymous for fear of retaliation, said Signore has used his platform to harass them and others. Last month, Ray, so it's saggy. Ray is saggy. Hosted that's not because we know it's saggy.
We know. That first,
that first part, I was like, should I say? And then
no,
we like, it's
we
her,
know.
it's her.
Saggy don't give a fuck. She ain't scared of this
No,
dude.
it's not because it's not. Yeah, her Ray is like it's her name, but it's not. It's not her full name. It's
I know. Yeah, we know.
Good luck with the doxing.
She's literally told people her real name on screen. They just forget. They're dumb.
Yeah. I forgot. She told me I forgot. But anyway, last month, Saggy hosted another former collaborator of Signore's, Brittany Truskowski. I don't want to mispronounce that.
Truskowski. That sounds
fuck. Anyway, Brittany, 38. I'm just not former unpaid moderator. I always fuck that shit up. Okay, so made new allegations against him, saying he sent her unsolicited nude pictures and videos of himself, including a video of himself masturbating. He would say things like, "I should never tell," she said in an interview. "He's very pushy and persistent. I thought he was being very manipulative. At the same time, I was afraid to go against him." And she's talked about this. She was in the community. She was part of that tribe, and she was afraid of saying something and getting excommunicated from that tribe.
Yeah, and they fucking ostracized her when she came forward.
And that's how this shit generally tends to happen. Brittany provided a screenshot to NBC News of a message she sent to Signore on November 8th, 2021. With that said, "I think we should keep it platonic." She said that a few weeks later, around November 28th, 2021, Signore sent her a video of him masturbating as he was saying her name. And if you've seen...
It's fucking creepy, bro. It is so
creepy. Someone has like a much more higher quality copy of it, I think. Because like there's one dude on Twitter I saw today that was like, it was of Andy's face, and it was just like, it was like 20 seconds of like
eyes
and I'm just like, dude, no, man, that's gross.
It's nightmare fuel. It really is, bro.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
And he tried to throw it to deep fake, and none of this shit really happened. And this girl produced receipts, motherfucker. You can't hide from the receipts. You can't hide from the screenshots of the conversation. We've all seen it. She said, "Let's keep it platonic." And your idea of platonic was to send her a video of you saying hi to your fucking monster, you sick fuck. And this is not the first girl he's done it to, man.
Well,
and that's what I mean
allegedly.
But I'm just saying, that's where I say predatory behavior. He may not be a predator or an abuser, but it's definitely predatory behavior. And we've been hearing about it for years.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we know about that. Hey, what's up, James?
Hey, you guys talking about all the fun stuff?
We're talking about the Andy Signore masturbation video. Have you seen it?
No, I don't want to see it. Thank you.
Sure.
He just said it like it was the new James Gunn movie or something. Have you seen it? It's great.
Oh, it's like I had a friend come in the other day, Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net, and the first thing I say is like, "Hey, Jason, what are your thoughts on Song of the South?" Because we came in as we were talking about Song of the South.
Oh, ain't that cartoon that was like really racist at Disney?
Yeah, it's pretty great. H Barts here says, "I'm only here to say hi once more." Thank you, H Barts. Love you, buddy. H Barts actually just gave me a digital copy of Clerks 3, which I'm like,
yeah. He asked me not too long ago if I want a certain. I can't remember what he asked me for, but he was like, "I want to send you something," and I never got back to him. I forgot, but I can't remember. That is not where Zippity Doodah comes from, is it? Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that is.
No. Yeah. I didn't even know. Wow. Mind fuck.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's pretty crazy, dude. Yeah. It's it's all crazy. All right. So yeah, anyway, we all know about the video response, Andy saying that it was revenge porn, but then it was a deep fake, and then they hacked his phone, and it was all sorts of, skirting around the issue of the fact that this guy is currently engaged to a woman that he had a kid with like a couple years ago. And, and he's sending off jerk off videos to other women that are from his community.
Wow.
That's just, there you go. But all right there. And then Saggy here does make the good point about saying that the size of his platform does make it hard for people to speak out. Not the size of his dick, but the size of his platform. And he's a bigger content creator. She says not everyone is equipped to deal with the drama. Not everyone is equipped to deal with the trolls. It's a little intimidating trying to combat a bigger platform. In fact, if you actually search Andy Signore's name on Twitter today, you will see a lot of those people that are just vehemently defending him. Like, that's just a hit piece about Amber Heard, right? Completely
saw that.
Overlooking, like, you know, him trying to like produce baby batter in the mirror. It's gross.
Yeah.
You know, and then
he came out and said that anybody who supports this article or believes what's being said in this article is just donating to Amber Heard. Like, he said that. I'm not even kidding. He
made a comment. He made a comment earlier today. I got sent this tonight. Let's see here. I gotta save it real quick. Stupid Chrome. There we go. About
Don't blame the technology.
Blame the user, right? Probably, James. Probably. It's been a long day. What can I say?
I just woke up.
Yeah.
I was up for like 20 hours working, and I wake up.
Oh yeah.
Client texts me, the site's down.
Well,
that's what happens when you don't pay me. No, I'm just joking. It just didn't auto renew.
Yeah, right.
I can derail this conversation if you want. I don't mind.
We're almost done with it. So hold on to
I'm
your
joking.
butt.
Go ahead.
So Andy here says, until the creators quoted, so he's referring to me and Saggy, way to prove why I stopped wanting anything to do with you desperate, toxic snakes. Kat doesn't give a fuck about any of you. She's paid to trick the world into thinking Amber Heard is innocent, and she just used you. Dude, I talked to her 4 fucking months ago, like for like 20 minutes. So, it was more like 45 minutes. We talked for a while. We talked about journalism, actually. When her and I were on the phone, we talked a lot about journalism and a lot about other things, you know? Like, it wasn't a conversation about, it wasn't all about Andy. A lot of it was about like the environment of modern media, where modern journalism fits into it, and dealing with all the bullshit and everything else, and like how the editorial board or the editors that make the headlines, and how they fucking fundamentally damage the fabric of society by their shitty ass headlines and stuff. We had a full blown interesting conversation that was a lot of fun. I talked about Andy for like maybe like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, focus on you. I didn't, man. And then here's the thing, but Andy had found out, I don't know how, but somebody had told Andy that she talked to me. And so he knew about it months ago, and I didn't say shit about it. I was like, all right, whatever. And then today I got the DM from her saying that it was out, like, all right, cool. And I'm all throughout this fucking article, you know?
Oh, you're carpet bombed through it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And here's the thing though, but if you Google Andy Signore, Matt Jarbo, you do find a nice little video where I showcase that he tried to extort me.
Yeah, that's oh my god.
That's the clip I played before we looked at the article. That was a clip I played.
I got to dig up dirt on you too, Matt. Like we did.
Yeah,
like we did, Matt.
And that wasn't even me in the fucking live stream. Like that
no,
was
it was some alt account, some troll.
Yeah.
I remember.
Sorry, James. What?
I just said it's not hard to dig up dirt on Matt.
No, if I ever ran for office, Oppo research would just be like super fucking easy.
No, it's all public. I mean, you're very transparent about everything.
Yeah, like, oh, you said this. I did. Actually, someone today brought up the polar bear. They were like trying to tweet it out. Like, oh, he did this. I'm like, yeah, a decade ago. Actually, a decade and like 2.5 weeks. You know, like it's a long time ago that I was that stupid. I'm stupider now, but in other ways. Not that way. I've learned from my mistakes.
I'm pretty stupid. My temper, man. I say some foul shit. Like I'm
Dude,
literally.
Chris, nice to meet you, by the way. I heard you the other day. You do have a temper. Holy crap.
Yeah, I've got one, man. like me and Brodan really worked hard to get, you know, Jeremy to come on Max's show, and he did. Because me and Jeremy had halfway decent rapport, and I would always it's not hard to pick a fight with Ryan Cannell. Just DM him and he'll come at you. It's easy to pick a fight with that guy.
What? And he ignores me if I DM him.
Not me, man. I've got whole conversations where he went up. But anyway, we got Jeremy to come in there, and I couldn't hold my temper. and like I went off and threatened to slap the shit out of him. You know, and I said if I ever see you again, I'm gonna slap. I can't. I would love to slap the shit out of you. And then Jeremy apologized to me, told me he was sorry and all this shit, and he disarmed me, Matt. He honey dicked me, man. I got honey dicked.
it's not hard to honey dick people on the internet. It really isn't. It's like, and that's the thing. Like a lot of these guys, you know, look at Donald Trump, right? People will sit there and they just go like, look at the guy. Actually, I'm not going to say that. But if all you got to do is blow smoke up someone's fucking keister, and like oftentimes they will be willing to like, you know, bend over backwards to help you. People love to be complimented.
You were streaming at the same time and you switched over. And I remember in your stream, you had one other guy and the dude goes, now this guy is speaking facts, you know, and you're like, oh yeah, Chris kind of knows his shit. And I was watching your stream later on after I went off on Jeremy, and then Jeremy started being nice to me and I started getting honey dick, and you went off about me. You're like, see, this is the shit I'm talking about. I remember you getting mad, like, cause I was starting to be casual that, you know, and being nice to Jeremy, like, all right, well then cool, it's squash, it's all right, man. Now let's talk about your toys. Let me see your Snake Eyes thing or whatever, because I didn't want to keep fighting because Max was freaking out. Remember, Max was like, no, I don't condone that. I don't condone my Max went full fucking like peace mode. You know what I mean? And I was just mad at Jeremy for all the bullshit. And then after Jeremy honey dicked me, I remember you and that dude were like, see, I remember you getting mad on your stream going, see, this is the shit I'm talking about. He comes in there and then he disarms these guys and they start forgetting about all the bad shit he's done. Then you went in there and put the screws to him. You remember you came into that stream, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, dude, I was on, I had just finished drinking a blonde vanilla latte that has 450 milligrams of caffeine.
Yeah, so you were in the zone.
And then I was like, da 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 da, and then I got mad, and then like my adrenaline kicked in, and I'm like, da 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 da, Speedy Gonzalez, motherfucker, you know, and like to the point where I was like waking up my girlfriend. I was yelling so loud, I had no idea. I was like, I got to keep my voice down, but I was getting so fucking pissed. You know.
And I remember thinking that you were going to be I remember thinking when you came in, you were going to do like the whole debate thing, but you were going to be the one to keep everybody grounded. Okay, Matt's going to be the one that, you know what I mean? I remember thinking that like Matt is going to come in here and like throw facts at him.
Do you ever, does anyone here ever think I'm going to come on in and be the grounded one?
Well, keep everybody else grounded so you can get your questions in. You're going to come at him with fact. You're not going to be like, it's not going to be a bunch of whataboutisms or all that shit. You're going to be like, well, you know, didn't you do this? Didn't you say that? And I remember you getting mad and telling me everything Jeremy tries to say is, okay, well, prove it. Show me. He expects you to dig back through 3 years of fucking live streams and show the exact moment that he said
that's that. That's the whole point though, right? Like that's how those guys operate in arguments. If
and I wasn't aware of that kind of psychological warfare yet. I didn't get it. You know, until you explained it to me, and I was like, wow, I got honey dick. I was so mad at myself, but you were turning the screws to him, so I was okay with it, you know?
Yeah, that was fun.
Max freaked out, man. Max was like, Chris, you can't say that. I'm like, wait, what do you mean I can't say that? What the fuck, man? You know, but I guess I probably shouldn't say things like that, you know?
Tony here says, Matt asks questions he knows Jeremy can't answer. Like I said, a good prosecutor doesn't ask questions that they don't already know the answer to. So the questions I was asking, I knew he wasn't going to answer, but it says more about him than my question.
Yeah, but when you zero in on somebody, Matt, you stay on target. You know what I mean? That's what I meant by you were going to be the grounded one. I've seen you do it. You stay on target.
I can get loud.
Once you got your foot on their throat, you just leave it on their throat, and they can't answer those questions, and it gets a little.
But here's the thing: is I want the answer. Like I want the answer.
I know.
I really do.
And me, the only thing going through my mind at that time was, I wish I was in the same room with this motherfucker. That's how stupid I am with the temper, you know?
Yeah. I've only been, I tell you this, I'm not a violent person. I'm not a physical person on that front. But back in 2016, when I was at Comic-Con, I was in the press area waiting for the preview night to open up.
Is this a flex story, Matt?
Is it a flex story? No, it's not a flex story. It's like, yo, I'm with a bunch of fucking movie nerds who just write about fucking comics and shit, you know, and I see this one fucking guy, you know. No, actually I see this guy, his name's Devin Faraci, huge piece of shit.
Wow.
I hate that fucking guy. And he this is
when
a guy
you were talking about Signore, I was gonna ask it. Sounds familiar, like Faraci.
Apparently I just have issues with Italians. But I am Italian, so it's a cultural thing.
You're 1%
Hey,
Italian, Addy.
Shut the fuck
1%.
up, Chris. Shut the fuck up. I can claim it, okay? I can claim it. I get 1% of that fucking Leaning Tower of Pisa, motherfucker.
Yeah, I get it. You're part of the tribe. You're in.
I got the fire. That's where
got
the
you.
fire comes from.
got
Okay,
you.
it's that. Yeah, I get that's the Italian coming out. Yeah, you just get mad and shit. Commando here says I have to say I don't like drama focused streams. Well, the drama is. I mean, it's been
Once in
interesting.
a while, it's okay to
Once
vent,
I
get
was
it.
heavily featured in a national syndicated online article today. So
yeah,
you know,
but that's why I'm here because that's when it always pivots, right?
that's what. Well, we're not. Yeah, I mean, we already
When
kind
I
of made
came in,
jokes
I
of-
was like, "Is there any requests for Warhammer videos?" And 2 minutes later, Command Unit posted, "Here's
There
a
is
panel."
yeah. I do and I do have it right here. Actually,
Well, the
ready to
trailer,
go.
I always
I
leave
don't want
and
to
watch
see it
them
right
on
now,
the
though.
big screen, and they're good, man. Like the Vietnam one was really cool. And then the trailers that you watched last night, there was one that just blew me away. I think it was the Mario one. That looks so
That
good.
was good,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And I dug the come on, man. The Jedi Survivor, that just looks insane.
Oh, comes out right like a week before my birthday. I'm like, yay!
So I kind of like, and the
Yeah.
Warhammer stuff was cool too. I kind of like when he sends that stuff
There,
in there.
I mean, like, there's a lore there, and it's like I like the Space Marine stuff personally. Like, I like the video game side of it, like where it's like I like the machinima that are made, but when it gets into like those like Google Translate ones, I'm like, I don't know. The humor is lost on me because I don't have a cultural bearing into it.
Yeah, it's hard if you don't know.
But
all
it's
the
like,
lore.
but when it's like, here's a Space Marine with a giant gun and a fucking axe sword, and he's cutting bitches in half, and I'm just like, yeah, I can get behind this.
Am I the only one that I just
Boom.
got to say it? Am I the only one that thinks that that James picture that he looks like if, even with the glasses, the original Zod? And he changes the picture.
I was gonna say in that other picture that he had, he looks like a more masculine Fisher Stevens from Hackers, but a less masculine Fisher Stevens from Short Circuit.
Zero cool, baby.
Zero cool. I was gonna say that. I was gonna say Hack the Planet, but
Okay,
whatever.
so we're doing pictures again. Yeah, I was about to say Hack the Planet.
That's
Matt, we've
funny.
already done your picture. I said it looked like your grade school photo day.
It does.
Chris, you
It's
look
the
like
back-
you're
it's the
like
backdrop.
gonna use a black and white filter to be an Instagram boyfriend laying on
That's
the couch.
well, that's funny though. But I made that picture as a joke to be emo. My daughter was taking a bunch of pictures of me, and like I don't know. She always catches me in these fucking emo moments. So I put that one up.
your image, Chris, honest to God, looks like a recently divorced single dad.
Okay, here.
Who's on Tinder with just the tagline, I really like Limp
There.
Bizkit.
There. How about that?
Do you have long hair now?
No. Well, yeah, it is long again, but not like that. Not like that. No.
See, now you look more like Short Circuit Fisher Stevens.
Right? You know, and I was fat then too. I was a lot bigger than I am now, man. Now I'm just chubby because of my diet and the diabetes. But yeah, that's a real picture from just a couple years
I'm
ago.
chubby because of the diabetes.
Yeah, well, no, you know how it works, man. It does make you lose weight.
Oh no, it
You know,
does. It does. First it's some fat and then it's a foot.
Yeah, so I
Fuck.
mean, thank you, diabetes, for helping me get skinny again. But now I got to kind of put but this is me. This is me now. That's basically who I am right there. Mazooed out every day. That was me right before the Slipknot concert, you know?
There we go. I updated my image to be something a bit cooler.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all pretty
handsome.
handsome
me a
motherfuckers,
second.
man. Like, look at us three. If we wanted to, we could get some pussy. That's all I'm saying.
Nah,
Like,
I'm a chud.
total.
I don't
How
have
are
a
you a
girlfriend.
chud?
I'm in a basement.
No way.
That's not dude. That's I mean, that's
I'm
a
being
a
facetiously
Canadian
humble.
humanoid underground dweller.
You're
not
top G,
cannibal,
bro.
you're just Canadian.
You are top G, bro.
Oh
You're
man,
top
I found I was watching Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the 1980 BBC show, a couple weeks ago, and I found this. It's on my other computer. I have a screenshot of what those guys that read the poetry and it like kills people. Have you ever watched Hitchhiker's or read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
No, I've never even read the book. I know it's like this huge
Jarbo?
hit, but I never have watched it or I
I've
don't even know
seen
what story
the
is.
2005 movie.
Right. Okay. So you know when they. Oh come on, Sean, if you're listening, type in the chat. What are their names?
That had Most Death in it, right? The 2005 one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's great.
I tried to watch it and I couldn't get into it, but everyone's like, no, Chris, it's a spiritual journey. You gotta watch it.
I
It's not
really
the best
enjoyed.
representation of the books, but it's a great movie. I
Well, a
really
lot
liked
of people were really upset that the ending of the movie was the ending of the fourth book.
Sean
Yeah.
Dickinson said Vogans. Is that a name?
That's
Vogans,
it. It's
yeah,
the Vogans. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Vogans. And
But
the
if you-
Vogans in the 1980 one is just the makeup is absolutely insane. I gotta grab that picture. It's hilarious.
I've heard good things about the 1980s version of it. I remember I saw it at
yeah.
they had it at Walmart, like on DVD, I think, back in the day when Walmart carried a lot of DVD. Well, no, they actually carry more now than they used to. But what was I going to say about the ending of the movie being the end of the fourth book, which makes sense because like the journey continued, but you know, I think as an audience, we wanted to see the planet restored, you know? So like, we didn't walk away going like, oh, we're all dead. You know,
Right?
I
They
think
blow
this
up the planet. I think they blow up Earth or some shit.
Well, they blow it up, but then in the movie they blow it up, and then it's Arthur Dent, right? That's the main character's name.
Yep.
Yeah,
Smack
so,
by
like,
the Mac.
Dent,
You know
and
him.
then Mostef is Ford Prefect.
Yeah.
Like Ford Prefect. I like that name. My friend Mac, Smack by the Mac. You know him, Jarbo. He is always trying to get me to watch that really obscure shit. Like he made me watch this crazy trilogy called. It had, I think it was Time Bandits and Brazil and Buckaroo Banzai, or I don't know, but it was
Buckaroo Banzai.
two of
Wherever
those
you
are
go,
done by
there you are.
Terry Gilliam.
Terry Gilliam. That's who he loves. Terry Gilliam, and every time he makes me
what was
watch a
it?
Terry Gilliam movie, I don't know what the fuck I'm watching, man. It's so fucking weird.
Well, I mean, like
brilliant.
Around that time, wouldn't it have been like it would have been like Baron Munchausen and then Brazil and then Time Bandits?
Time
Yeah, he made me watch all three of them, and I think
I love Time Bandits. I just fucking hate the ending. It's so like what the fuck, right? Like, but did you hear Taika Waititi's working on a new Time Bandits? I think show.
Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna happen. Though.
I don't know, man. Like if it's not Gilliam, I don't know. I don't know if Taika has the same sense, like the same sensibilities to make it like that. Cause it's like the thing with Time Bandits and Legend is that they both dealt with like little people in those movies. And like the way they were handled was like way different than what you would normally expect.
Legend was when I was very young. And I just remember it kind of creeped me out, but it was beautiful. The visuals. Oh my god, bro! Like, when they killed the unicorn and shit, I was a little kid when I saw that shit.
Yeah. Did they have 4K'd Legend yet? Have they up-res that?
I think so. Yeah.
What am I watching that again?
Hey,
I know we got a
Cliff.
$10 super chat here from fucking Command Unit. Thank you, buddy. Says the Space Marine books, ironically, are the most non-newbie friendly out of all the 40K books. Hell's Reach is seen as the most newbie friendly Space Marine book. I recommend 40K horror books for newbies to 40K. Okay. I mean, you've mentioned that before that like the wasn't like Audible has got a whole bunch of like 40K audiobooks that are pretty easy to get into.
Well, I don't know what a 40K is. What is 40K?
Warhammer 40K. That's
okay. So it's the Warhammer stuff still. All right.
Yeah. Let's see here. Only one tubing here says The Boy in the Stripy Pajamas.
That was a fucked up movie, bro.
Jesus Christ. I'm like, but it's like he says The Boy in the Stripy Pajamas, and I just think Terry Gilliam, you know, like Monty Python days, right? Like, oi boy, who are you? I'm the boy in the stripy pajamas.
Wait, did Gilliam do that movie? Gilliam did
no,
that movie?
no,
Oh, okay.
No. I'm just saying
remember...
it's like Monty Python because he came from Monty Python, you know.
That movie fucked me up.
He did all the animation of Monty Python.
Yeah, and directed he did some of the movies, didn't he? Or was that was yeah.
No, that was there.
Zach's always like Zachary Fenor. He's always like the content police. Like, get back on topic, motherfuckers. There's like two more topics, but like really we can kind of like breeze through this one here. This one popped up today. Patty Jenkins.
Play the trailer, man.
Okay, fine. God,
it needs some publicity.
As soon as I go into this thing, he's like, play the train.
That's me, man. That's me.
All right,
man, I really wanted that movie. And I had faith in Patty too. I'm bummed out, man.
That's okay.
I like Patty. I don't know why she's getting so much hate. You know, she had every right to walk away from that project.
Well,
okay.
I get it. All right, here's this. Okay, so James, give us a preface on this.
So Sean McLaughlin, producer of Batman Beyond and Justice League Unlimited animated series, and some work on Pinky the Brain and other stuff. He made a short film about a retired superhero. It's in the vein of a mockumentary, kind of like Best in Show and
Okay.
The Office and stuff like that. And he's also a co-host on the Small Screen podcast. He gets some really good insights on Warner Brothers and working there for numerous years. So anyways, I bugged him and he finally let me cut the trailer. So I've been doing like little spots for it, and the trailer just hit today. So this is the trailer.
Okay, cool. Thank you for that. Let's give this a watch. I haven't seen this, so I have no idea what to expect, but it's
Don't
Red
forget to turn the
Bandits.
volume on.
Thank you. All right. I would have caught
My
it.
pleasure.
I don't usually drink coffee before I go out on patrol. I mean, this suits a motherfucker to get off when you have to pee, and then there's my hands. You know, you spend 30 years punching people and take collagen. That's supposed to be good for your joints.
It was exciting at first. You don't realize what's happening to you.
Switched to carbon fiber a few years ago. Otherwise.
Was he wearing that bodysuit thing? He always looked so hot in that.
I could have killed him, but no. The mask. I had to see what he was hiding.
This doesn't do shit to hide your identity. Fuck you, Zorro.
The plan that took him down was pretty simple.
I didn't think it was fair, really.
I thought he had a gun.
He couldn't think it through.
Twilight? Well, the name just came to me. It's I was going to be out mostly at night, and I wanted to be a night, night with a K. And night just sounded like something your mom says to you when she puts you to bed.
That was good.
I would absolutely watch that. I would absolutely watch that.
Is it available to watch now, or do we have to wait?
No, it's going to be playing the festival circuit in 2023.
Oh, nice.
So the beginning, yeah.
The
and
carbon
then
fiber thing was funny as shit.
yeah, he did a great. The film is hilarious, and he'll be going on tour, playing at festivals too, and the new year as well.
Nice. It's good to see that festivals are making a comeback, even though they're, I think, largely irrelevant. But that's just my take.
Yeah, he's been involved with Batman for so long that like this is his final word on Batman. And I think it was cathartic for him as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. If you've worked enough on
that's him actually playing too.
Okay.
Main character. He doesn't like to take that limelight. He's more about the work of the other actors and the crew and everything. But he should really, because he's really good in the role.
What's the connection though that would make? I'm kind of being nosy. What's the connection? Why is it cathartic involving Batman? Why is it? Because he doesn't work with it anymore. It's just
that, and he's also in the age of retirement too, like the superhero.
Okay,
right. So it's a lot of parallels to his personal life, I can imagine. So
yeah,
I'm not going to speak for him, but I see that, and
I get it. Yeah, that makes total sense.
He's talked about it on the podcast too. So it's a hilarious film. So, we're back with another Warhammer. Thanks for the 3 minutes, Command Unit. I really appreciate it.
All right. It says here for 5. Thank you. Warhammer 40K is basically Lord of the Rings plus Dune plus Judge Dredd plus History Channel when they still cared about history content plus high sci-fi like Star Trek. That's a lot of stuff.
I won't be confused at all by that.
That's
Command Unit. Here's a tip when you're plugging your stuff. If you pretend to feign interest in other people's, they will appreciate that and also promote your stuff as well.
No, he plays. He joins in the conversation. He has.
I know. I'm just being a jerk, man. I'm being a jerk. That's all.
Yeah, but he's like he really supports the channel. So shut the fuck up.
I know.
When he's like, also when he's like, I'll sponsor you, he comes through. Anyway,
everybody got real quiet.
Oh, because I'm just putting this in the chat.
Yeah. Here. Well, there's this thing. He did want us to check out this 140K animation. This is only 34 seconds.
Cloud said, "Oof."
So this is okay, Salt Warhammer 40K animation. This is only 34 seconds, so James should have the attention span. Let's go.
Stop fucking with Jarbo supporters.
That was cool.
Total
Brief.
Gears of War vibe. Total Gears of War vibe from that, especially when you see that grenade. That was crazy. That looked like one of the Gears of War grenades.
Or well, when the guy fired the shot from a distance, and you see the heat on the barrel, right?
That's
The run on
cool
the barrel
too.
and then fading. I thought that little detail was nice. I mean, that things like that are fucking cool. Like, and those are like homemade animations, which are just like, it's nuts what people come up with. Like, I am not artistic to save my life on that level. So I can't like, I get, you know, I draw stick figures and they look like they have special needs.
Special needs stick figures.
Ryan Hartwell here brings up, do you remember Phoenix Jones? Yes, I remember Phoenix Jones. Phoenix Jones was the Seattle vigilante. He was the guy walking around at night that would be like, I am protecting the city. And, you know, like trying to like, he would help people and like, you know, whatever. And then he was even featured, I think was it in, oh God, what was that game? You know, the one with the kid who could had the lightning and fingers.
Oh,
It starts with an I.
Yeah.
Second Son. I think it's called Second Son.
Yeah, I know what franchise you're talking about.
Yeah, right. It's the one. It took place in Seattle. Infamous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that one, I think he was featured on like the side of a billboard or something. Some artwork in that game, and then he ended up like beating up a guy like in real life and getting arrested.
Infamous?
Yeah, Infamous Second Son, I think, or
Yeah, I
Second
do
Light, or
remember that
Second something
game.
or another. It was a good game. I got to play it again. It's been like, I can't believe it's like that game came out in like 2014. That was one of the very first like PS4 exclusives. It was like Killzone in that game, you know? But I was like, hey man, cool. The Northwest is being represented in a game that never happens. It feels like, you know, it's always like New York or like LA or I don't know, Toledo or some shit.
Now, you know, now that I think about it, there isn't a whole lot of Northwest.
Do you know there was a campaign after Grand Theft Auto 5 came out for to set Grand Theft Auto 6 in Portland? And it was like, well, if you look at the geographic breakdown of Portland, right? It's got the Willamette River that cuts the city in half. There's other little side rivers, but it's like there's like a bunch of bridges. There's a bunch of different little boroughs. There's a bunch. I mean, you know, like it's a different cultural landscape depending on where you go. It also has the highest amount of strip clubs per capita in the country.
Well, that shit I'm in.
You know, and so I'll tell you, one of the best burgers I've ever had, I had it while I was having lunch at a strip club back in 2009. My friends, we were going to go to the Goodwill, you know, their surplus center or whatever it is, right? And it's called the Bins. And
they're saggy.
You know, and you're later than the vodka stream. Well, you know, that's because, yeah.
Why didn't I see
I
that?
will say I would play GTA 6 set in Portland after watching Nicolas Cage and Pig.
I need to see Pig. I haven't seen Pig
Oh,
yet.
dude, you need to watch that movie. It's so good.
Okay, well, it's on my list. The James guy, $2. I support the channel too. Yeah.
That text looks familiar, doesn't it?
Text looks super familiar.
Yeah.
I wonder where that came from.
Yeah. Hopefully no one wrote a tweet here that someone called a piece of shit for doing so the other night. That would be awkward.
I didn't say piece of shit.
No, you didn't. You didn't. Someone with a black and white picture did, though.
What'd I do?
Apparently, you had made a comment.
We'll talk backstage.
No, it's mostly trolling. Right?
Was I mean to James? Nuh-uh. When
Indirectly. You didn't know it was me.
Oh.
You didn't know it was him. It's all right, though. It's okay. Thank you for that, James. Thank you, Commander, here for 5. Thank you. Says Gears of War was inspired by 40K. StarCraft, Warcraft, Mass Effect, all inspired by 40K. I mean, like, that's fine. That's good. You know what I mean? I'd much rather, like other, things come from that have like cultural impact and shit. I'm pretty sure that like if I went over to the UK and I was all like, 40K sucks or whatever. Not that I think that. I would probably be stabbed and left for dead in the street. Because that's how popular it is over in the UK.
Have you ever had Command Unit on the show? Because I would love to hear like about why he's so passionate about and always, sharing and supporting the community. Like I love that. And I would love to hear that story.
Yeah.
I know he's from Israel and so there's like a massive time. If he ever wants to, yeah, he's 100% able to. Even when it was his birthday and we're watching that, I'm like, you can come on. And I think I think he was like, I just want to watch. I'm putting an emphasis on that. That's editorial right there. That's editorial right there. Thank you very much.
This is correct, by the way.
Hold on. And then also here, Command Unit says, I just like enjoying sharing things that I like. So I think you have an answer to that one right there.
Well, yeah, that's what spurred my interest. Be like, I'd love to hear him talk about it.
Yeah. That's good. Also, hey, what's up, Saggy? You want on? No, I don't want to go for like another fucking like 3 hours. I want to talk to Deep Voice. No. Jesus. Okay. All right.
Yeah, she does have
this says actually all that shit was inspired by the original Starship Troopers novel. So we could have a battle of the 40K. This is versus Command Unit.
That novel I've actually read and that movie, and I'm telling you, it's all propaganda. Well, it's anti-propaganda propaganda.
Yeah, it's a mirror look at society and dictatorships.
And it's written by a Latino from, I'm pretty sure, South America. He's an author from down there. Or he came
Heinlein?
It was actually a ghostwriter. You didn't know that?
No, It was a
Yeah, it was
ghostwriter?
written by Joseph Campbell.
No shit.
I'm just trolling, man. Just joking.
Fuck you guys. I had it coming.
Joseph Campbell, man, the hero's journey. That's where everything starts.
It does. And then eventually
Star Wars, all of it. The hero's journey. Yeah. They all copied it. Those fuckers.
You should let Saggy on. Just make her promise not to yell because I just woke up.
She
right.
never not. Well, she don't yell. She just like me. She's loud.
Okay. Well, okay. While we wait for her, I do want to get through this Patty Jenkins stuff that kind of ties.
Go ahead.
All right. So, Patty Jenkins, Star Wars Rogue Squadron script reportedly was a mess, according to Bestman Bulletin here. Okay, let's see here. During the last episode of the Hot Mic podcast hosted by John Roca and Jeff Snyder, the topic of Jenkins and Warner Brothers arose. You may recall that Snyder was the first to report that Damon Lindelof was on board to write a Star Wars movie way back in spring, months before it was reported by the trades, and had since had several reports that turned out to be accurate. When discussing the current situation between Jenkins and Warner Brothers, Snyder said the following: I've heard some things about Patty Jenkins. I heard she's a fucking nightmare. I get it. I hate being the guy calling a woman a nightmare, but my God, I've said that about countless male directors. So like, I've heard that I've heard that the Wonder Woman 3 script she turned in was a mess. I heard the Star Wars thing, Rogue Squadron, was a mess. Like, what do you want from me? Okay. I mean, like, Jeff
Snyder said this?
Jeff Snyder said this, not Zack Snyder. Yeah. Jeff Snyder said it. Hey, what's up, Zaki? And so, I mean, look, I'll say this: looking at Wonder Woman, I think Wonder Woman 84 kind of proved it, that it was a mess. It was a mess of a concept, a mess of a movie, a mess of an idea. And if these other two stories fell apart because of the similar aspect of it, I mean, you heard about the thing the other day, right? Where she was like sent off the character arc thing.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask if that article mentioned it.
This article didn't mention that, but I have the Hollywood Reporter Heat Vision newsletter right here that does.
Well prepared.
I try sometimes. All right. So they talk here a bit about what's going on with DC. Obviously, we already know about all this stuff. Now, first there was a brouhaha about how much profit Black Adam will eke out. Variety said it will lose money theatrically. Then Dwayne Johnson hit back, touting a Deadline report that they clearly leaked the data on, saying wrong. Rarely, if ever, has a star put themselves in this position. But then again, a franchise of sequels and TV spin-offs is at stake. Which, I mean, like, look, Black Adam will eke out maybe some bit of a profit with the home video side of things, but it's not going to be the groundbreaking blockbuster that he was touting it around to be.
Profit, though? Didn't The Rock say, Dwayne Johnson said that it made like 60
He says that, it's an estimation. It's an estimation. So if you look at, like, you know, the theatrical breakdown for, you know, obviously domestic and international box office, and then you look at the, you know, what they're estimating like the VOD to be, and the 60, I think it was like the 86 million that Warner Brothers is paying itself in order to put the movie on HBO Max.
Well, it sucks in like today's climate that he felt he needed to put that out on his personal tweet, you know?
Yeah. No, I totally
stop everyone bitching about it and comparing it. Just reminds me of the Batman versus BVS box office run that people are bitching about.
You're right. There was actually a fair amount of that was brought up. But I mean, a lot of people though kind of laughed at all that because just today it was announced that you know, like, look, Black Adam hit VOD 2 weeks ago. It's been or I think over 2 weeks ago now, almost 3 weeks ago. It's been number 1 on there, right? But then now, starting next Friday, it's going to be on HBO Max. So I mean, they're already putting it out on. So it's like obviously its VOD run has started to die off.
Maybe this is the new norm, though. Especially for Warner Brothers.
You know, if it's a 45-day window, which it does kind of feel like it is.
Yeah.
Then sure, but at the same time, it's like, you know, it just feels like it doesn't feel like it's there, and it just that's kind of how it is. But anyway, so there's that with Black Adam. That's why I said, like, you know, like kind of like put The Rock on Pinocchio, because he's, you know, he's definitely like not telling us the whole truth. And we'll talk a bit more about that here in a second. Then came out the article on Wonder Woman 3 not moving forward. It had a lot of other details and issues that were facing Gunn and Safran. More questions have been raised than answered by that story. So then other details followed, like Jenkins' inability to take notes. The rap spilling the beans on a contentious back and forth between Jenkins and Mike DeLuca, with her sending him a Wikipedia link to the definition of a character arc, which I thought that was funny. But then again, but if you look at the character arc that Diana went through in Wonder Woman 84, it's like, what the hell were they going to do again for this one? Was she going to find another way to resurrect Steve?
Yeah, that's what the rumor is. I don't know.
No, that rumor was fake. Yeah. But like, I mean, but look,
what I want to know, I want to read all the email exchange between Jenkins and Safran and see what led her to send that Wikipedia link for the character art.
They were probably arguing over creative differences. I mean,
yeah, but we're only getting the snip just to play devil's advocate, as I always do.
Yeah,
we're only getting the snippet of that reaction at the end of a long conversation. I'm wondering what Safran said, just to play devil's advocate. You know, like
I would love to know the pitch.
Yeah, we just can't go off of that one little tidbit and call her, you know.
No, that's what I was getting mad about tonight. I've been telling everybody, look, okay, she's a bad writer, and her art, she's writing as an art form. And she's, you know, technically a director and artist. Her artistic vision got shut down, so she's gonna have a temper about it. So she had every right to walk away. But everybody's vilifying her and calling her this fucking egomaniac, and that bitch is gonna ruin Warner. But like, they're vilifying her, and for fucking what, man? She's the one that lost her gig. You know, like, she lost her gig.
She lost the gig, but it's like, you know, there was notes that were from DeLuca and Abdi before they went to. I think they mentioned that a little bit later on with this as well.
No, I agree with you, Chris. Sorry, I was making tea. I just question who's saying that she's going to ruin WB. She has no power to ruin WB. Like, that's ludicrous. She's a director. They didn't like her pitch, obviously, so they're not moving forward with Patty Jenkins.
No, and remember, this is the same group, with the exception of Gunn, that and Safran that tried to vilify Zach. It's the same company. Some of the same people in it. You know, I think what happened was they told her, look, you're fired, but to save face, we're gonna let everybody say you quit. Sometimes they do that in Hollywood, you know.
Yeah, I mean, but she had
in any business.
They did, yeah. I mean, they may, you know, but it kind of feels like they're not letting her say they're saying she walked away, but they're saying it in a way that comes across like it's just she did a shit job. You know what I mean? And like, and then if Jeff Snyder is saying, well, I'm hearing that the Rogue Squadron script, which, was announced in 2020 and is supposed to be coming out a year from now and should have already been in production. And like, it was supposedly getting close to production, but then they pulled it. I kind of feel like it's one of those situations where after, like Game of Thrones season 8 came and went and it didn't have the best of reception, Dan and Dave are all of a sudden off the Star Wars project.
Yeah.
And then so I'm wondering if Wonder Woman 84 came out and it didn't have all that great reception, Kathleen Kennedy got cold feet and pulled the plug on that.
I think that's exactly what happened. But for like these reports and Snyder's article and stuff, it's all optics from both sides.
Yeah.
I mean, Gal Gadot, or was it Patty Jenkins like a day or two before?
It was Gal.
It was Gal.
Yeah, like that's public negotiation, right? That's saying, okay,
well, that's what I said.
Yeah. And see how much interest it gets, and we can prove to the studio that the fans still.
Oh yeah, total campaign move, total campaigning. Yeah,
because I mean, I don't feel like Gal was throwing Patty under the bus or nothing. I think she was trying to like get her friends back,
Yeah.
But it's just things are changing. And if Patty is just like not nailing the script, I can understand why she would bring in Jeff Johns. People were really upset about that. Like, well, Jeff Johns, like, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, you know what, man, listen, you can like the guy, not like the guy. He's a good writer.
Yeah, that's what I said. He's toxic as fuck, but he's a good writer.
Like, clearly they found a rapport together. But it just wasn't, like, I think maybe he wasn't as involved this time around because he's doing Stargirl. So, maybe she was kind of left to her own devices and just wasn't able to crack the nut.
As long as Jeff Johns doesn't have the Justice League or any superheroes say the Justice League's got this or Green Lantern's got this, I'm okay. Because when he put that dialogue in the New 52, I was like,
well, it's going to happen, right? Like, it's going to happen. It's going to be in there.
Yeah.
But thank you. But Commander here for $2. Thank you. Says Scoop Steve becomes Brainiac. Why not? At this point, fuck it. Anything can happen. Multiverse, baby. Multiverse. Okay, so we know about Gal Gadot speaking her mind, and we know about James Gunn chiming on in, and then we get a little bit more tidbits here coming in from Aaron Couch and Boris Kitt, and they say here, Man of Steel 2 is stalled out. It's Kal-El with kryptonite ankle bracelets at this point, not going anywhere, but it was on the move ahead of James Gunn and Peter Safran's arrival at DC, even though it's unclear how far that incarnation would have gotten. Sources tell us that Stephen Knight, the creator of Peaky Blinders and C, and the writer of movies Spencer and Eastern Promises, penned a treatment for the project in the fall. Unfortunately, it didn't thrill Warner executives who gave notes. Before things could go to the next level, which may or may not have included hiring another writer, given Knight's very busy schedule, Gunn and Safran were hired, and the development promptly ended.
I know what's going to happen. I know who they're going to get for Wonder Woman. Was it Wonder Woman 4, right? Or 3?
3.
Yeah. I know who they're going to get. They're going to dig up Joss Whedon's old script, and they're going to get him to make it.
No. What if all of a sudden, like, Joss Whedon goes to direct Wonder Woman?
Fuck that.
What if that happens? It won't, but goddamn,
the worst
really like
redemption tour ever.
Yeah, people would flip.
I can make a James Gunn joke now, but I won't.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, and then you got Crisis on Infinite Supermans here. So just staying on topic, just staying on the topic of the dream to bring Henry Cavill back. Dwayne Johnson wasn't the only one who had that idea. Now this was new. I didn't know this. This kind of caught my eye. Former head of DC Films Walter Hamada was also working on a long-range plan to return Superman and Cavill to the DC cinematic fold. Sources tell us that cameos in forthcoming DC movies of next year would have breadcrumbed to a giant tentpole movie inspired by the now classic Crisis on Infinite Earth comics in the 80s. That comics mini-series featured multiple timelines and heroes from other dimensions, or dimensional Earths, and just as the Flash movie was featuring Keaton and Ben Affleck in their Batman incarnations, this new movie would have returned Cavill as Supes. Johnson, however, has his own plans and muscled in his own Cavill return. And that is what he's freaking out over. I did that with that, the bloop in his face. Bloop in his face. I mean, like, look, is it end of days for this? No. They could probably get anything to happen down the road. but it's like the amount of defense and cope that Dwayne's been doing on social media is really telling about what's happening. And because he
Again,
wants
it's
to
just public negotiation.
He
well,
just
he
won't-
wants to control the narrative too.
Yeah, he just won't
Yeah.
take that L. He just won't. His ego won't let him, and that's messed up because
What L does he have to take?
just that it didn't.
That's a sincere question.
It didn't do what he and everybody claimed it was going to do, and he won't take the fact
Did he
that
say
it
it
did
was
lose
going to
money.
make $1 billion?
No, but he was out there promoting it, and he was
That's
out
what you
there
do.
marketing it like he's the new big face of DC. There's a new
That's what-
hierarchy, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Now, yes, that's what he's supposed to do, but it didn't happen. It didn't work out. So just say, look, the movie lost a little bit of money. My bad. It didn't hit the way I thought it would, and we'll move on to the next project. But he's out here making
Who is he
excuses about
obligated
video.
to say this?
When have they ever brought in video on demand numbers to try to save face on a project?
No, but what? See, this is the thing. Is like with social media. It's like before, none of that would have mattered. Like, oh, it's a good movie. Let's hope we get a sequel, right?
I wanted
now
a
it's like-
sequel. I enjoyed that movie, but
Yeah, but now everyone is like, oh, ganging up on Twitter saying he didn't make as much. he
it's
didn't
a
make as
flop
much.
and all that. I don't think
Yeah,
that's what
and
happened, James.
that's-
I think it just underperformed. That's all. I don't think it's a flop. I think it's a very likable movie. And I think if Dwayne, The Rock Johnson would just come out and say, "Hey, man, sorry, it didn't work out like I thought it was. We're gonna try to make as much as we can and move on to the next project. $7 forever, blah blah blah." And people will be like, "Yeah, I still love The Rock. I still love him." You know what I mean?
He doesn't owe anyone that though. All he
No, I
owes
don't
that
think
is
I
the
agree with James.
shareholders.
He doesn't owe anyone that. I think all he really has to say is, you know what, looking forward to bringing it to the next one, sort of.
Or
thing.
that, yeah, even that. I'm just saying, don't put all this spin on it. Well, technically, we're really going to make about between 60 and 75 million on the video demand and DVD sales and blah blah blah. Why are you throwing that in there, man? Look,
Because it's a new age. It's a new age for digital distribution and film distribution.
I know.
I can
that,
just
but-
imagine. I'm just seeing it from his perspective, where it's like he worked on this for like 15, 19 years.
Yeah, I feel bad
and,
for
like,
him. I wish he
really
would have done
pumped
better,
it up
man.
and everything. And then see all these trolls on Twitter saying, "Oh, your movie didn't make that much money," blah, blah, and all these articles coming out with inaccurate information. Like I've seen articles that said, Black Adam's not going to make any money, and then they have to update it because it's wrong.
Gonna lose
Like, that's
150 million. It's a flop.
Yeah,
blah blah
it's-
blah.
and
Yeah,
he's
I've
setting
seen all
the
that
record
bullshit
straight,
too.
you know.
By the way,
But he's got to do it in his own way.
I just want to point out that he said that I couldn't yell, but Chris is loud as fuck.
I always said I'm loud. I am loud. Am I being
Yeah,
loud
but
now?
he-
Is my
he
mic
said
up
that-
too loud?
Yeah, you can yell, Saggy. I'm
Well,
fine with that.
No, I
Yeah.
don't want to.
I don't
wanna
control
yell.
you.
Yeah,
I
but
was
you
making a
just woke
joke.
up.
Do you
one
mean my
controls
mic
her.
is
No
too
one
loud
puts
or
Saggy in
I'm
the
just
corner.
loud?
I'm being respectful, and your voice is very deep. So I'm like, just taking it all. And that's why I've been quiet this whole time. I came on to listen.
Yeah, stop it. Stop it. Don't listen to her. She's in seductive mode right now. She's in conning mode. Don't listen to that
Yeah,
shit.
she's
Well,
definitely like
It is
that.
like 4:00 in the morning for me.
Yeah,
so-
it
Hey,
is.
Chris,
All right,
it's not my
let's finish
first
this.
rodeo, man.
Okay, just
Jesus.
check.
Okay, let's finish this up and then we'll get into everything else. All right, so
There's more?
There's still more. There's always more, Saggy.
Jesus Christ. Did you already
You
cover the
want?
Andy
I
shit?
told you wanted to come in. I told you there's more to talk
But
about
did
here.
you cover the Andy stuff?
Already
Yeah.
covered it.
You
First
were
thing
all
we
in
talked
that already.
about.
You were
You
all
were
up
on
in
the
that
fucking
article, girl.
vodka stream.
I said some.
You were on the fucking vodka stream.
Whatever.
Oh, she chose the vodka
So
stream.
she's
over
like,
this?
"Oh, I can't do this. I'm on Dave's show right now." Like
Dave
DMs,
missed. Dave, well, listen, my boss missed me. He's my boss. You didn't know he's my boss?
any guy that tells you what to do is your boss, right?
No, like Dave is like they said Dave is my boss. It's all a conspiracy, the scoopers. Anyways, what's going on with the Flash movie?
No, we're just looking here. It's like they're gonna do Batman Beyond. Christina Hodson was penning it. She got a couple weeks into it, and then they basically told her to stop. And so now, who knows what's gonna happen? So that's basically about it. It's
The fact
just
that
like
they're not doing a Batman Beyond pisses me off so bad. You guys know I wanted Batman.
Yeah, I
Beyond.
wanted that too. I did. And
Like-
with Michael Keaton, I think it could have been great.
Right, that's why I thought when they brought back Michael Keaton, we were getting Batman Beyond. And they're like, no, we're gonna do Batgirl. I was like, fuck Batgirl. Who the fuck cares about Batgirl? Who wants a Batgirl movie? Not me. Nobody asked for that bitch. But like, no Batman Beyond. Like they started it and they're like, no, we're not gonna do it. Why? What's wrong with you? Batman Beyond would have been great. Keaton coming back as old Bruce. Like, come on. Throw me a bone here, DC. Stop playing with my fucking feelings.
I agree.
So
I
that
agree.
article, that heat vision art, was that all confirmed or is that just from sources?
That's just from sources.
But
A lot
only
of it was
James
just from
Gunn and Peter Safran know what's going on.
well, this apparently happened before. You know, this is stuff that happened before, like they
The Patty
when
Jenkins stuff?
the Patty
I thought that
Jenkins
was
stuff. Well, yeah, she was working on it like she just turned it in, but she turned it into Mike DeLuca and Pam Abdi because she had the deal with them, right?
Okay.
So that's where that thing came from. So like what's happening post where things are right now, we don't know anything about. But what we're hearing about are things that have already kind of like came and effectively, you know, fell apart.
Thanks for killing my joke there.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that because it's not a funny joke.
It was. It was a funny tweet. It wasn't a cry for attention at
It
all.
was a
It was
cry
just
for
funny.
attention. It was totally a
Hell
cry for
no.
attention. It was completely a cry for attention.
Really? You think you know me? You think that would be my motive?
No, that I didn't know you were the one that I had a thought that you were the one that did it, but like I didn't. I was all like trying to think. It reads like a cry for attention. It's like
it was too much fun. I couldn't resist.
Cry for
man.
attention? Hi, I'm here. I'm still here. Cry for attention. I'm here. Attention's here. Hi.
all right. So how's your attention going this evening, Saggy? Have you gotten all the attention you want?
Oh my god, dude. The attention. What about you? Like, I know we're past it, but I want to ask real quick because I missed the whole thing. But like, how was the backlash for you? I saw a certain quarter pounder with cheese was coming at you.
I didn't get anything. Not that I don't care. Right. And not like I know Andy made his comment back to that, you know, through that comment with the creator stuff and like, you know, she's just using you and you're all toxic snake. And then, you know, people were like, I saw people were going like, holy shit, she talked to me. And then like, what does this guy know? But really, if you read the article, it was like, well, I do know Andy, but they don't want to talk about that. And that's fine, whatever. But really, there was nothing. Like, I don't give a shit.
Well,
like,
it's funny, right? Because I know you missed my I did a 4-hour stream covering.
no, I
this whole-
listened for like an hour while I was out doing deliveries.
Yeah, I caught some
okay.
of it. I
So
caught some
like,
of it.
it's funny because it was funny too. Because even on the vodka stream tonight, right? Funny story, right? So I'm on the vodka stream, and somebody randomly in the chat was like, "Hey, Saggy, did you see that Andy Signore article today?" And I was like, "Yes, I did, because I was in it."
Like,
I was like, "Yes, I saw it because I was in it." But it was crazy because, oh man, like part of me was like, I get why people are like a little upset because like Kat, you know, is an Amber Heard supporter, which is something I didn't even know when I reached out to her because people were like, "Hey, you know, I think she'd be interested in your experience with Andy." I had no idea. She even made an article about Ezra Miller, and I was like, "Oh shit." But surprisingly, a lot of people who don't like Kat are at least being very rational. And they're like, I don't like Kat. She's done some stuff, but like Andy is still a creep. So like they're at least acknowledging that, like, yeah, like if these people are all like coming together, there's clearly something wrong with Andy. So it's been an experience and it's been, you know, great. And I'm just glad that, you know, these women that have come out are not dealing with all the backlash. Like it's crazy because like I'm dealing with the backlash and I'm glad that they're not dealing with much. So I'm happy that they're fine. And like the first girl that came out, dude, she's thriving in this. Like people are coming at her, she's clapping back. She's like, "Nah, bro, I know my truth. Like I have the proof. Like y'all can fuck off." And I'm just like, I love you. But yeah.
Well, I think for right now, one of the reasons why there hasn't really been maybe a great deal of backlash has a lot to do with the fact that he's been able to deflect it to some extent, because as soon as he gets to a point where he can't deflect it and he starts getting real blows on him, that's going to end up like really pushing, I think, him to react. And once he reacts, then it's going to be a lot of the busy bee stuff on his Telegram, calling for people to be harassed and shit.
Well, here's a funny thing too, right? Like, here's a little scoop for y'all, right? Things are not going well for him. His community is all kinds of confused. Like, there are people who are listening and saying, "Hey, all right, there's something going on." Like, anyone who questions him is getting the boot. Like, he's demodded a bunch of people for being like, "Hey, what's going on with the situation?" And just for asking that question, they're getting demodded.
Yeah, there's a word for that. Fascism.
Yeah, they're getting kicked out. Yeah, they're getting kicked
Image
out.
control.
And it's like really sad because it's like all these people are doing is asking a question, and he's like, we can't have that drama here. It's like, this is the problem with you, dude. Like you respond very badly to anyone who criticizes you or questions you. You can't handle it. So your solution is to gaslight them, oust them, and then lie about them. And that's what this is all about. The lies that he has told about all the people who don't like him, because they lie. He lied about us. And that's why, like with Matt, he lied about Matt. And Matt was like, nah, bro, I'm not going to let you lie. I'm going to tell you the truth, and I'm going to tell everybody the truth because you're publicly lying about me now. So if he didn't lie, no one would care.
Well, the audience wants to know who they're supporting, too. There's nothing wrong with asking questions going, man, am I supporting maybe someone that's doing something I wouldn't agree with? It's just a question. I can see if they were criticizing him or accusing him, but they're just asking basic questions like, hey, man, what's going on?
Here's the funny thing, right? It's like, he should be lucky that more people aren't questioning him about where their money went, because that's something that's something he can get in some trouble for. Okay, people are spending their money and they're asking him if it's going towards what he's saying it's going towards. And a lot of these people, one of his top donators was in my chat today saying the same thing. Like, hey, I donated to a charity. He was supposed to give it to the charity, and I haven't heard anything about that.
Didn't he? Well, I thought he came out and claimed, again, I've only caught this in passing, so I do not know. Didn't he claim like he covered that, right? I don't even know. I don't care. I don't care about that shit. Like if his
he
followers
pulled Amber Heard and said that I pledged the money, but did you donate the money? No, I pledged it, but you didn't donate it.
Well, if there is, look, if his audience is turning on him, then that's good. But I'm not part of his audience. I just know he's a piece of shit. So
no, he is, and his audience is starting to realize it too. So, like, I mean, good for.
I've never watched the guy.
I don't even hate watching. I don't even.
I don't hate watch anybody.
I know Edward at the small screen. He's watched like John Campion, Signore, and all that. So he listens to Jarbo too. But I've never been interested in those like Signore and Campio, whatever. Like, I don't know. Just never watched him. I did talk to Andy Signore once on Twitter, though.
I'm so sorry.
He was kind of rude to me.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Seems right on brand. Hey, John, oh, leave me alone. You're crazy, man. So you're freaking me out.
No, it was nothing like that. It was just like...
No, that's what he said to Jarbo.
I used to be friends with the dude, man. I used to DM him, and then he started asking me to dig up information on you guys, and I was like, "What,
dude?" Jarbo scared him just from a single text. Like Jarbo could text and be like, "Hi," he'll be like, "Leave me alone, Jarbo. You're crazy."
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I haven't texted him in forever. I thought about texting him today.
I have that effect to you.
What, a wellness check
today?
Well, we were talking. I'm all like, "Oh yeah, I did." I was talking to James this morning. And I was all like, I see you message me, and I'm just like, oh, fuck, what did I say now? You know, because, like, I don't know if James is going to message me and, like, lecture me.
That was very shocking, man. I didn't realize it had that effect.
You can lecture me all the time.
I mean, it really depends on everything, you know, like it's all part of the play, I guess. It's some people you're like, okay, I don't quite know. Like, I'm pretty sure if I DM people, some of them are gonna be like, okay, fuck this guy. I don't want to deal with this guy, you know, and they just don't want to deal with it. But, you know, other people, it's like, who knows, you know, the vibes that they get when you message them or where they are, or what they're doing sort of thing.
Yeah. It's the whole text thing, which is uncanny to me.
Oh shit, I gotta answer this. Why the fuck is my mom calling me at 3 a.m?
Oh
yeah, that's a tough one. Zachary here says, I still watch Campia from time to time. Like, you poor bastard.
I don't know. Robert Meyer Burnett's on Campia. I probably watch it for that.
Man, that guy, I had a meme I made about that guy that is really mean. I deleted it, but it was basically like, because in my opinion, he doesn't, as long as you hate modern Star Trek, he doesn't care what you say about anything else.
That's not true. Like, he loves Strange New Worlds, right? Like, I'm a huge Star Trek fan, and and he's very knowledgeable about Star Trek. Like, he is, I guess you can say, an authority on the subject.
Yeah.
I do agree with him on Discovery, and I do agree with him Strange New Worlds. Like, that was a great show.
I'm sorry, guys. I gotta go.
Bye, love.
All right, brother.
All right, man.
I
Have a good
hope
one.
everything's all
Yeah,
right. I gotta
go
dip
take.
early.
No, it's all good, man. Go take care of
You
yourself.
okay?
I will be. I gotta go.
All right.
Good
All right,
luck,
dude.
man.
That's ooh.
Yeah, that doesn't
I
sound
think
great.
I have an idea. Yeah,
But-
I think.
Robert Meyer Burnett. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I know Clint watches the show a lot, and he actually did the opening song for the intro of Midnight Metal. It's pretty good. That's probably the only reason why I would watch Campia, but I don't get to watch a lot of shows, to be honest with you. So that's why I don't watch Signore or Campia or whatever.
Yeah, that's I mean, he'll be like, I'll be at the library like working or whatever, and I'll see that he was gonna, like he'll go live, and I'm like, I'll check it out for maybe like a second or two, and I'm like, I can't. I can't. Like I'm like, I can't do it. I try, but it's so bad. It's just so bad. It's just like, because I think what it is, and I think you and I were talking about this earlier today, James, is like, I just view a lot of like the day, like I cover the DC stuff because like I've covered so much of it, I might as well. But a lot of it is just kind of like boring. A lot of the general stuff is just kind of boring to me, the Cape stuff, right? But it's like talking about like, oh, like little, like what is it? This weekend, The Mean One came out in theaters, and it's gonna hit VOD I think next week. So I'm gonna check it out. I'm looking forward to watching it. I was like, hopefully gonna go see it this weekend in theaters, but that's not playing nearby. So I'm like, all right, I have to wait. But that movie's gonna be a lot of fun to watch. And like, I think that's kind of where, like I just want to watch more shit. That's where
Did you
I'm
get the
at.
screener?
I didn't get the screener. They didn't message me back.
Yeah, neither did I.
It's like, son of a bitch.
I mean,
know,
we have
we're
a
not-
50 million social reach every month, and they still didn't send it to me.
I don't have that, but yeah,
Sucks.
that's lame. But like I got an email from Paramount, and they're like, hey, do you want a copy of Bumblebee? I'm like, all right. That wasn't a problem. But The Mean One, fucking no, denied. I mean, but then it's like, I think it's like, just where we were talking earlier today about, I brought up like the retro nerd girl and her video essays. Like that was a good essay. And like, I like essays like that dive into, that get into the nitty gritty of it. And that's the kind of stuff I'd like to do, to talk more about that. I just think it's less like, it's less bombastic, I mean, but then again, like going off on Andy or listening to Saggy go off on Andy's pretty funny.
It is funny. But you know me, I'm not never one to sit around just talking about people. I'd rather talk about, I mean, like you were saying earlier, like superhero films and the Cape stuff you're not too big into. To me, the movies come secondary. I mean, I really like the films, but it's more the behind the scenes stuff that I really enjoy. And I think, but now that is so convoluted in the last, I'd say 5 years. I think it was like the first 10 years of the MCU that I really enjoyed how Kevin Feige built that.
Yeah.
And then with like DC and Warner Brothers just being such a mess, just it's not really fun anymore. Especially like, I'm not a big fan of the scoop game because I think it's very toxic and petty, but I do like the learning about what's going on behind the scenes and stuff like that, if that makes any sense. I've always enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I get that too. I like the behind the scenes stuff. I just, but it's like this person said this and this person said this, and it's, I don't give a fuck, dude.
Hey, listen, I don't enjoy talking about people. It just started happening, man. I miss the days.
You
when I was-
enjoy it, Saggy.
No,
like you could hear the
enjoy it
excitement in your
too.
voice when you were just talking about Signore there. Like, and every time I listen to you, like you get super excited, and that's fine. Like, I'm not trying to be all high and mighty here.
Here's the thing. I enjoy being right. Okay. So when this whole situation came up, like ask Matt, he was the first person I called, and I'm like, holy shit. Like, Matt, we thought that like he was just an asshole. He's worse than that. Holy crap. We were right. He really was a garbage person. So like it was excitement, not because I get to talk about him. It was more of excitement, like, holy shit, we called it. He's a fucking creep. like we kind of had a feeling that he was a little creepy. We just didn't know how creepy. So yeah, I enjoyed being right. So yeah, I did enjoy talking about guys I'm right. Like, yeah, of course.
Well, we also have previous experience with Andy. Like,
Right.
Andy had first tried to like feed her information about me, like of Andy and I's private conversations, in order to have her use that against me. He's done that
So
to
this is
multiple
like
people.
High school stuff.
It is
Yeah,
high school stuff.
it
Yeah,
is,
yeah. You know,
A lot of
and
high
then
school stuff going on in the internet these days.
Which was hilarious, by the way, the fact that like Andy's like, bring this conversation up that me and him had that you weren't involved in, and like just bring it up as if Matt wouldn't have been like, how the fuck do you know that? Because he was like, don't tell him I'm sending you this stuff, motherfucker. He's gonna know because I wasn't there when you guys had this conversation. Like Matt's stupid. He's gonna be like, oh yeah. He's not gonna be like, where did you get that conversation? Yeah, it was pretty funny. The dude's a clown. I enjoy clowning on people. I'll say that. Yeah, if I'm gonna enjoy anything, I do enjoy roasting a pig, and Andy Pignor is a good roast.
Wow.
Oink, oink, baby. Oink, oink.
Andy Pignor. Jeez.
There it is.
There it is, folks. There you have it. No, she's not. I mean, like, he's just done that kind of crap, and so it's fun to like watch him squirm a little bit. That's the best part of it for me.
I can understand that.
You know, because it's like when you're a person that actively tries to like silence others, like through intimidation, right? Through intimidation and you know, fear of excommunication and things along those lines. Yeah, you're like, all right, yeah, you suck. You just totally fucking suck. Yeah. But you know, with any luck, one day he'll get it, and we won't have to deal with him anymore. I mean, he'll just go away. You know, that's what I mean. He'll just go away. But you know, I don't know. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. Goddamn.
Yeah, it's all about like what attention you want to give to certain people. I think, right? Like even negative attention builds them up in the cultural zeitgeist.
Yeah, because they can use it as like a what's the word? You know, as a way to kind of deflect too.
Well, that, like, and it's also about metrics, like how many people are talking about who, right? And the more people talk about them, whether it's good or bad, like the bigger they're gonna get.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean the Andy article dropped this morning. I was like, okay, I'll talk about it tonight, and then you know what? I'm gonna forget about it tomorrow.
I'm not saying that it's because you were talking about Signore. I'm just saying that in general.
No. I mean, like, oftentimes a lot of like, if we're covering, you know, if we're covering like, I guess you could say, other kind of topics or whatever. Like, there's a lot that I just kind of like fucking forget about just in general. You know,
yeah.
I'm like, I just, it's not for me. You know, it's just kind of whatever. Like we'll talk about it, you know, but it's like the next day I feel like it's just waiting for the next thing. Oh, hey, what's up, Caden?
I was like,
honestly, I thought Max was gonna come in. I thought Max was gonna come in. I was like, I forgot I dropped it in the DM group.
Get Max in here. I haven't talked to him before.
He's not happy with me. He's not happy with me at all. I was not happy with him, and I vocalized it at the beginning of the stream, and he got real mad and like did a live stream response to it while I was live. Like, I'm not even
high school, man.
It is high school. It is high school, but it is just
men reliving their high school years.
No,
so we got 92 people watching, but only 45 likes.
What's a lot of, I don't know. I haven't asked for likes tonight.
Yeah,
I haven't asked for like, but I'm okay with it though. It doesn't, you know what? Do what you guys got to do. It's fucking.
It's my job. It's my job. It just comes second nature.
I just want to point out to people too, like y'all sit here and act like Matt Jarbo is not about the drama, but trust me, y'all don't know. He really got nothing but drama. He can't avoid it just like I can't. He just doesn't lead into it as much as I do.
I mean, like, listen. I am a lightning rod of magnetism. It just happens. It just finds me.
You're always in something.
I think we always forget, not we, as in y'all forget, as in the audience and other people forget that Matt has a very strong personality and a very strong opinions that like when you should expect
who's forgetting this?
Some people people are apparently, and people are expecting Matt to not like say what he wants to say, and honestly, like it's very surprising that we go through this every 3 months or every 6 months that like someone gets upset that Matt interrupted them on the stream or something. Like this is nothing new. It's nothing new. Like,
well, okay,
Matt, did you read the comments in the 5-hour stream you and I had? One guy wrote, "I've never seen a guest interrupt the host so much."
Yeah, I did read that comment. Yeah, that was
And
pretty funny.
the thing is, it's like another thing is also like if someone says something about you on the stream, don't make a stream while they're streaming about streaming. Like honestly, like I love Max and everything, but that no, that's not the way you handle the situation. You should have gone with your first thought of handling it
Well, you guys
behind the
have done that.
scenes.
You guys have done that with other YouTubers. I've seen you,
Yeah,
Saggy,
yeah,
Caden,
yeah,
responding to a live stream while they're live streaming.
yeah. But
I've
the
seen
thing
that
is
multiple times
that
pop up in my Twitter feed.
but the thing is that I'm not friends with the people that I'm streaming about.
I don't
You
think that
know?
matters.
I think it does matter on that part.
Kaden, are you literally saying like I can't stream when Matt's streaming? Are you really like gatekeeping
No,
his
I'm
stream
saying
thoughts?
that no, I'm not saying that. No. I'm
He's
saying
bringing
that
inside
if
baseball drama into the conversation. That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
I don't like this Kaden now.
Hold on.
It's
Davey
tired,
Crotchkick
Kaden.
here says college humor, Batman and Superman team up. If not, show titties at Saggy.
what?
You're gonna
Uh,
show me
Talking about
titties?
Batman.
if show titty, I guess titties.
I've seen that, by the way. I've seen it.
I
We
haven't
actually
seen
played that on our latest episode of the podcast. That
Of the-
actual clip.
that. Is
Pete
it any good?
Holmes, Batman. Yeah.
Never saw
Where
it.
he meets up with Super. You've never seen? It's friggin' hilarious.
All right. All right. I'll bring it up. We'll watch it at the end. Benson here says, "Who cares about a grown man wearing a kid's mask?" Well, the grown man wearing a kid's mask cares about himself wearing the kid's
That's
mask.
Doomcock, right?
No, that's Max.
I
Is
know.
he Max?
I know.
$1
But
Store
yeah, like,
Doomcock, I think is what they call him.
you know what? Since Eddie and RJ have interrupted me on the stream, I'm gonna stream about them now and be like, RJ and Eddie, I'm subscribing from you, and then make sure that RJ makes a stream about me as well. About me
Listen.
saying-
I saw Max's stream. I'm just gonna say this since we're fucking talking about it. My thing is like, listen, Max likes to talk, and when you have somebody who likes to talk like a lot, it's really hard for that person to do a stream with other people because he wants to get a word in and he
Yeah.
wants to talk a lot, and that's all it is. He just likes to talk a lot. So I mean, I get why he doesn't want to do solo streams, but it's like, you know, if you're somebody like me who likes to talk, you also have to know when to like
Nice.
exactly
nice.
what I did. Like, yeah, thank you, James. Got it. I appreciate you for that.
I was like, I got confused for a moment. I was like,
I appreciate that somebody on the panel got that. But
That
yeah,
was
you
that was a
can-
nice
I
little
was
bit
like,
there.
it's like you
It
cut
was a
out.
nice little bit.
yeah.
I
no,
do have a serious question for everyone actually here, because like I'm a YouTube producer and you know we do live shows and stuff. But what are the tiers of all this? Like, because you guys are talking about drama on other people's streams, right? And like, and this is what you guys do is like you guys talk to each other, you go on each other's streams, and you talk about other people's streams. What is the end goal here? Like I know Matt's end goal because he does like his formats and everything. But I'm
To be
and this is
completely
not
honest with you,
this is not
James.
throwing any shade, but like is this just like is it a
I think
To be
hobby?
completely
Or is it
honest with
something
James
fun
right
to
now,
do?
like at this
Or is
moment,
there-
Kaden, you don't even talk
Yeah.
about drama. Shut up. You don't even have a YouTube
no,
channel. Shut up.
at this moment, James, I don't know.
Because you don't do any drama, Kaden. Shut up.
But you don't always have to
that
do
doesn't
drama
apply.
though.
That's the thing, exactly, Matt. That doesn't apply.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be
Okay,
about drama. I'm
so-
just saying, like, what are the tiers of like? Okay, so you got Andy Signore and you got John Campia with their shows. You got Matt with his live show. You got Small Screen with our live shows. They're starting back up in 2023.
Oh, I don't
we
do this shit
and
anymore, so.
We've got all this like, and then you have
space.
Mad Max, and then you have Saggy Melons, and then you have I think RJ streams. I don't know, but you have like all these people. So like, what's the end goal? Because we know the end goal of Hollywood After Dark and Campia and Small Screen. What is the platform that you guys are representing, or is it just like a fun thing to do online?
So this is the thing. So that's kind of like a loaded question, at least for me, because my channel when I started, it wasn't drama. My channel was Apex Legends gaming videos, Netflix TV show reviews, reacting to trailers and things like that. So my channel was kind of like a little all over the place. I kind of was like a pop culture nerdy channel, like gaming, movies, anime, things like that. Whatever was interesting to me. It wasn't until I started going on other people's streams like Max and Matt when they talked about, you know, other YouTube content creators and drama a little bit, like when they had their drama shows and I was on there and I gave my opinions on what I was watching. Mind you, I had no clue who these people were. I didn't know who Geeks and Gamers were. I didn't know who Jeremy Briggs was and stuff like that. I didn't know these people. So I'm just on a panel being introduced to these channels that my friends have issues with. And, you know, I'm that type of person that I can have a conversation about anything. Even if I don't know about it, I'll just listen for a bit, get a general idea, ask some questions, and then boom, I got my take, right? And when I started doing that, you know, after the streams, people be like, oh, you know, the usual things like, hey, tell them where they can find you. And I'd be like, oh, I'm just Saggy Melons. I do gaming shit and I don't talk about the stuff on my channel. So if you're looking for that stuff, you're not going to find it. But then when I started doing live streams, reacting to stuff, that's when people would come and be like, oh, I remember you talked about your take on Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. And I like that take you had on him. And did you see what he did here? And I'm like, oh, no, but I'll take a look. Cause I listen to my audience, right? I'm like, you know, if they want me to look at something, they want my opinion. It's like, all right, I'll give it. And that's when I kind of dived into drama. Like anytime I talked about another content creator or a topic or a celebrity, people would be like, hey, you know, I liked what you said about that take last time. This is the follow-up or there's new information. And then I just started talking about that more. And here I am being a drama channel. Yeah.
No, there's no snoring there. I'm just like, I'm generally like,
what happened?
I'm genuinely
Saggy was
curious.
talking. We all tuned out.
Oh
No, I was listening.
No, I know.
Matt was also listening, but he was also selective listening.
No, I mean, I get you. This is gonna sound so crazy. I don't think I've ever talked about this publicly, but the main reason why I started doing this was because of Roxy Shire. I'm not making that up either. I was she's not my favorite commentator, but I was like, she just goes live for like 45 minutes a day. Like, okay, you know, like I could do that. Like just to kind of like build up the audience, build everything up from there. And then it just turns into these like fucking 3-hour streams, you know? So, but that was a big reason why I started doing this. And so I'd like to be able to like, you know, maybe turn it into a podcast, get interviews and like structure it and format it. But then, you know, people really like it when it just kind of goes off the rails and devolves into just, you know, conversations about like flinging and cum.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I understand that. But I'm talking about like discussing the drama with the friends. Like Caden came in here talking about Max stuff. Like, is it therapy or is that a platform? I'm just trying to understand. Because I do this for a living and I'm just like it's my full-time job.
Well,
right?
I mean,
like what is
you get things like this where Davey here for 7 Canadian, thank you, says Saggy's so fucking hot, right?
Thank you.
So it's like, you know, I mean, this is why we do it for the super chats of Saggy that I can collect. I'm kidding. No, I mean, like for me, I like talking about movie news. I like talking about this, but I think because I've been doing this now like almost daily for like the last year and a half. Coming up, I think April will be 2 years, you know? And so I'm just like, for me, I'm like, I feel like a lot of the conversations are so cyclical. They're just cyclical.
No, I know your platform. Like I said,
yeah.
like I prefaced with this. Like I know your platform and I know your goals and what your future goals are. I'm curious about like
the drama. Sometimes the drama gets easier.
Is it a subculture or is it a sub industry?
Oh,
like, this one I'm trying to wrap my head
YouTube,
around.
on YouTube, it's a flat out cottage industry, dude. It's a cottage industry on YouTube. Holy shit. Drama channels, man. Drama channels, T channels. They are the worst.
Hey.
What? I'm not. You resemble that. All right. Let's be fair.
I resent that. First of all, my drama is not like drama I don't give a shit about where it's just for the sake of fucking drama. When I talk about shit, it's because I actually morally care about the shit I'm talking about and I'm calling out. It's not like I would say when I was reacting to Geeks and Gamers shit, that shit to me probably was like, that's why I stopped doing it, because like I don't actually care. Like, why am I doing this? Like, I don't really care about their takes on freaking movies and shit. That's not gonna affect how I watch movies. Oh my god, Jeremy doesn't like Black Panther. I'm still gonna fucking watch Wakanda Forever. I don't give a fuck. But like with this type of drama I'm doing now, like this is shit I actually care about because it's actually impacting the viewers, the community. It actually affects them. So yeah, fuck you. I'm not doing that kind of drama, Mr. Jarbo. I'm actually doing shit I care about. You know that because you've been impacted by Andy Signore. Okay, so
yeah. I mean, like, I get into it with, like, let's say the Snyder people because the drama based upon that has more to do with just trying to, like, dispel a fair amount of myths that go on and the people that are, like, trying to profit off of bullshit, by willfully selling bullshit, and that ends up like, it's like when you go on Twitter and it's like, Zack Snyder does anything and it's just full, the response is nothing more than please fuck me, Zaddy.
Yeah,
Because
okay,
that's what a lot of
but
it
is
is.
that why like Caden and Saggy would go on do a live stream when they're doing a live stream so they can comment on it?
Okay, I would argue, and I can't speak specifically for them, but
That's why I asked them.
Yes, but I'm going to give you my take first because then I'm going to go take a piss. But I'm saying I think it's more about the trolling because they react. A lot of it is the react, and I think they'll agree.
Oh no, it's like these like the internet is full of like dumbasses, and at this point, if you can't fix stupid, it's always fun to piss them off. Like I'm just like at this point, I'm like, yeah, like if they're gonna act dumb, I'm going to give them something to continue to get. Like I said, I monetize my haters. Like people would hate on me and shit on me. I was like, all right, well, if you want to talk shit about me, I'm just gonna boop a live stream and laugh at you, and my audience is gonna laugh at you, and I'm gonna roast you, and they're gonna enjoy it, and that's just what it dived into. But yes, to answer the question earlier, yes, I did basically get dragged into drama, and that's just what I was like. You know what? I'm just gonna lean into it.
Caden, any thoughts? I don't even know if he's still here.
Caden just was like blah. I would find it more debatable about Saggy being hot, but hey, what would I know? Listen, I'm hot to some people. I'm not to other people. I don't care. I got a boyfriend regardless, so I'm not really worried about it. And people pay to see my boobs, so I guess I'm hot to some people that will be willing to pay for my lewds. So hey, I'll take it. If you're not attracted to me, thank you. Thank you. I don't have to worry about you sexually objectifying me. I appreciate you, Kenji. I appreciate you.
Okay. Yeah. So my question just was like, where on the tier of like, because I'm just trying to figure out the whole culture of it. That's all. I wasn't trying to like throw anyone under the bus or insult anyone.
That's fine. I didn't
because like to me, like time is valuable, right? And like there's so much going on. It's how. Like, I'm just wondering about what the platforms are so I can understand it better. Because, like, I'll see it on Twitter or, like, I'll see you guys, like, doing a live stream on someone else's live stream, responding. And I'm just like, it's, I don't know, it's new to me, I guess. Or maybe not new, but, like, I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. That's all.
It takes a... I won't say I'm mentally the most stable human being, obviously, but it takes a lot of mental... like I don't know how to really explain it, but it takes some kind of level of mental capacity to really do certain types of content, like with drama and commentary. It takes, because like with commentary, it kind of is like the same as drama channels, right? But like it takes a lot to...
Well, it depends upon the commentary.
Right. But yeah, so with like drama, I will say drama, it takes a lot of mental capacity to just really do it, because you have to be able to deal with the backlash that comes with it. You have to deal with the fact that, drama is something that a lot of people get, if you're covering it, it weighs on you. So you have to be very mentally tough and prepared to really go down that rabbit hole. Like, when I cover topics, even about celebrities, like my coverage on Ezra Miller, that was a lot of mental stress, and mainly because it was a lot of information. There was obviously a lot of people who were not happy with my coverage because, I was looking at it from Ezra Miller's side of the argument, and a lot of people were like not having it, and I had to deal with that backlash. But I still got through it because at the end of the day, like I learned to just not care. Like, these are just my opinions. This is my coverage of it. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch. But I just still do it because it's what I want to do. It's what I feel, and that's just how it is. So, I guess like the end game is just like, until something else I want to do, I'll do it. But right now, drama is just the thing.
So it's just something fun to do then.
I mean, it can be fun. Yeah.
Like a
it can be.
pastime.
Yeah. I mean, I have plenty of time on my hands right now. You know, I just got, laid off of my job. So I've been getting paid for my last job still. So I'm just like, hey, I'm making money sitting here doing drama, and I'm completely fine with that.
Okay. I think I understand now. I think I understand what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much to it. It's just, everybody has opinions on the internet. And even if you are that type of person, like, for instance, you don't do drama, you just talk about things you like, but there's going to be that one person, and because you do YouTube, right? There's always that one person that's going to be like mad at you for saying something that you liked about something they don't. And that's drama. Whether you believe it or not, that is drama. Somebody.
Yeah, that's fine. But it's like, I just choose, like, we get those comments on the videos all the time. It's like, do I choose to engage? No, I'm either I don't engage or I'm diplomatic and polite about it, because there's I don't give that mental real estate. Like, I don't have room for that mental real estate. I think that's why I'm trying to understand all this, because it's.
Well, I'm glad you haven't came across that one person that even if you try to come at them with, I come in peace.
I have come across those people. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so
but and I was actually talking to Matt about this earlier today. It's like, once it hits that wall, it's like, okay, then I've done everything I can. Then I'll tell you how I feel. And then that's it. Like, I'm done discussing, because you obviously don't want to elevate the conversation. They don't want to elevate the conversation. They don't want to try and work out a solution or an understanding. They just want to argue, and then I'm done with that. So. I mean, there's no point in going back and forth arguing in my mind anyways, because you get nothing solved. It's just waste of energy. I mean, if it's for entertainment purposes, I can see that. But I have, that's just not in my nature.
Oh, I'm very entertained by people who want to argue with me, and especially the people who I don't get into arguments with people who have good points. Because, if they have good points, I'm going to be like, all right, you have a good point. And there's nothing to argue about, because I'm, acknowledging that you have points. It's the people who are just really ignorant and stupid, and they don't have any good argument that I have fun with. Because it's like...
No, I saw that, though, when I was on the Twitter Spaces talking about small screen and the geekosity and that Henry Cavill headline. And you were like, no, that's a good point and stuff. And there was people there trying to bait me, but I wouldn't take the bait because I don't do the drama. I'll just talk factual about it.
Oh, that was you.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah.
Oh, that's why I recognize that deep voice. I loved it when I was in the Spaces. Yeah, no, I mean, when we talked, I liked that you weren't argumentative, but you also you had good points. And I love talking to people who can disagree with me, but also educate me, because that's what conversations really are at the end of the day. It's educating each other, because I'm getting your perspective, you're getting mine, and if we can learn something from each other, then we've had a great conversation. So
that brings us back to the people that don't want to have conversations. I just don't have the mental real estate for that.
I agree.
That's why which brings us back to where I was trying to understand the whole either sub industry or subculture of talking about other YouTubers and going on a stream while they're on a stream, and I know I didn't bring this up. This came in, so I was just, and it's been something that's I've been trying to figure out for months now. Getting introduced to this, I guess the last year. But yeah, that's all.
I blame
it's all YouTube culture, baby.
I blame the pandemic. Yeah. The pandemic made everyone fucking crazy because we were forced to stay in and spend all of our time on the internet.
We drifted into a dark timeline, in the middle of 2010s or something.
Yeah, the internet was a mistake. I'm sorry. I love it, but it was a mistake.
No, the internet's the greatest tool that we can use to better ourselves. Just humanity doesn't choose to use it that way or to create. Most of humanity just thinks, oh, I have an opinion, so I should be able to share it. And my opinion is right. Just because you have an opinion doesn't mean you have to share it.
Well, weren't computers so? I think the fun fact. Well, I think the fun fact about technology, right? Well, the fun fact about technology is computers, cell phones, a lot of that stuff. When they were created, they weren't really at the time meant for civilian distribution. It was military stuff. They used computers for the government, military things, and cell phones were around long before they were made. And then the government's like, hey, we can make money off this. We should sell this and make this a thing, because cell phones and stuff that was really made for like military people and the government officials to use. And then they were like, yeah, we're gonna market this.
I mean, there's that, and then porn.
But what do you mean it's not true that if you have an opinion, like
No, I'm being a dick.
Oh, okay, all right.
Because I think that's a lot of it too. It's like not everything you have to have an opinion on. It's okay to not have an opinion, and I think part of the problem that comes from, let's say, like this specific environment is, we're opinionated people, and our audience wants us to have an opinion on everything.
Okay, so now we're getting down to the platform thing then. All right.
Yeah. A lot of it is a platform. Yeah.
So it's a cycle.
Yeah, it's all a cycle, man. But
see, my philosophy, like if you ever look at my Twitter, like there's no opinions on there. It's just promoting stuff that I've done or I've been involved in, or like what I like about people doing. Because it's like, who wants to listen to my opinion? I'll be honest. Like you can tune in the live streams, that's fine. But I think like people should just, if you have an opinion, maybe think twice, or like, is it worth adding to the conversation? Because there's a ton of chatter out there now on social media. And I think that's where, and everyone just gets swept up in it, and it's just a huge frenzy.
Yeah,
I'm talking about YouTube now. I'm talking about social media.
No, but there is an overlap on that. There really is.
Yeah,
so
it's an
it's like,
extension.
so it's like, if I do a review of something, that's giving my opinion on something. If I'm talking about a current event, that's giving my opinion on something. The problem, though, is that a lot of people talk and want to give their opinions, but they don't have the, I don't want to say education. I kind of look at it like this, right? When it comes to movies,
The moxie.
No, it's not the moxie. When I talk about like people who review movies and everything else, right? I'm all like, there are good people out there that like, that have ideas and everything else. But at the same time, I'm like, when you listen to people like, let's say like the Fandom Menace type guys that are talking to you about the industry, they've never once spent one day anywhere near it.
No.
And I go like, do you trust? I'm like, if you have a broken down car, do you go to a mechanic, or do you go to like, your neighbor's friend who's never touched a car? No, you'd go to a professional, someone who has the education, someone who has the background, who understands this and can do it.
You need a better metaphor though.
A plumber?
So you're talking about fixing things.
Well, I'm talking about gaining education, I think, or just gaining,
Okay, so if you want to learn a trade, would you just go to your next door neighbor, or would you actually enroll in the class? I think that's probably better. Yeah.
Okay.
I know what you're saying.
Right. But that's like, and that's the way I describe it. Is like these guys who have never, ever, 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 ever done anything creative in their entire existence suddenly have all the answers for how to fix Hollywood. It's like, it's just they don't. They are absolutely fearful of change, and they think that is the same thing as like, they think it's the same thing as having an opinion or being factual when it's not. It's the exact opposite.
Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one.
Yeah, that's true.
Except for
I think
Jarbo,
Caden fell
his
asleep.
mouth is shut. Caden, wake up, you friggin' puffy-haired bitch. Yo, he really did fall asleep. There's no way.
That's okay. It is late. It is late. We should. I should probably wrap it up.
You should leave the stream live with Caden.
No, because he would all of a sudden you would just start hearing like, "Hello, is me you're looking for?" He looks like fucking Lionel Richie, dude. He looks like Lionel Richie.
He really does.
Not even kidding you.
He looks like he does look like Lionel Richie.
He does. He looks like Lionel Richie. It's like he jumped on camera once, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, Caden looks like Lionel Richie. It's so weird, but yeah, he definitely crashed. There's no way he did that. He used to do that in Discord a lot. He'll just knock out, and then he'll wake up like 10, 15 minutes later, and be like, "Hello," and we're like, "Dude, are you good?" Caden, you smell, and I gave you AIDS. Yeah,
Wow.
He's definitely sleeping. He's definitely sleeping. There's no way he wouldn't have responded to that.
All right. Well, guys, I think on that note, we're going to call it a night. It has definitely been an interesting one. I appreciate everybody. Thank you to Saggy and James and Caden.
Thanks for tolerating me again, Matt.
You know, we tolerate everybody here.
Except me.
No, I tolerate people, but it's, you know, we talk about a lot of varied subjects and we try to be mature. Well, try to be. That never always happens. But all right, everybody, have yourself a grand evening. I'll be on probably tomorrow night. If not, I'll be watching a movie. So keep an eye
Thanks
out.
for playing that trailer.
Yeah, it looks fun. It looks good. Have to let me know how that goes.
Twinight.com.
Twinight.com.
Go to small screen. Go to small screen co.
Smallscreen.co.
No, small screen co on YouTube.
Oh, he didn't say YouTube.
Or you can go to the website small-screen.co.uk.
Oh my God, you guys need to get a better
What
fucking
the
URL
right?
shortener.
Like, what the fuck is your thing small?
Just Google
all right,
small
bye everybody.
screen CO.